Introduction to the mythical world of the Three Kingdoms. In the new era, mythical world has emerged. In the mythological world, all living beings compete for their destiny in destiny, competing for the fate of heaven, ministers, and the Tao, striving to become human beings and achieve immortality. Global forces pursue the evolution of life and the pursuit of benefits. For Lin Mu, mythical world still hides countless treasures and secrets. Equals 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 2 shifts every day, around 13.00, around 20.00. Seeking collection. Requesting recommended tickets. Chapter 1. Abnormal Rebirth Pill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Surrounded by clouds and mist, countless warriors wearing various battle armor and wielding weapons charge towards the center of the towering peak. At the center of the peak, a mythical dragon that only existed in mythology is raging in the center of the battlefield. This is a dragon with wings, extremely ferocious, sharp horns, and countless sharp teeth. Its fierce roar comes from the mouth of its gluttonous blood, overwhelming the world. It is the Huanglong. As the sharp claws swung, the soldiers ahead turned into a shower of blood like tofu. This Huanglong is very large, but its huge body is also blood-stained, with countless small wounds emitting blood. Although it is brutal, the dragon's power around Huanglong remains as real as it is. The soldiers wave their weapons as if swimming in the water, slowing down their movements several times. This is Huanglong Peak in Huanglong Valley. The blood-stained sky, the battlefield with severed limbs, the roaring of war horses, the mournful swans everywhere, even the fresh breeze brushing across the sky carries a strong smell of blood, like hell on earth. But the people on the battlefield ignored these and continued to charge fearlessly, some riding horses waving their spears and halberds, some just charging infantry, some archers shooting cold arrows to suppress them in the distance, and some brave warriors holding tattered shields in front. The intensity of the battlefield was nothing to every soldier, as if they were all dying. Lin Mu was a member of the charge, leading some soldiers from his territory to conquer this boss. He had no choice but to do so. His former boss was still very good to him. After leaving the company's gang, he relied on himself and became a small lord. Although he could not become a feudal lord, his dream of becoming a lord was still realized, as if his ambition had returned. A month ago, the former boss found herself hoping to send troops to help her conquer the largest boss on Huanglong Peak. Huanglong. In the past, she took good care of herself and may have been taking care of her behind the scenes even after leaving the guild. I can do whatever I can for her. As the small lord of the county town near Huanglong Peak, I thought I knew this boss very well, but when I officially wanted to kill Huanglong, the cruel facts shattered his ambition to the fullest. This is like a mountain that cannot be climbed or conquered, and killing is like daydreaming. But it all depends on human effort, regardless of the cost, there will be rewards. Behind the massive body of Huanglong lies its nest, where countless treasures shine with deadly attraction. People are greedy, and the temptation of countless treasures makes them treat their lives like grass, one after another. The battlefield where Lin Mu is located is to the east of the body of Huanglong. Although the treasures in the nest are relatively far away, his cultivation has already improved, and his gaze is still quite far away. Although not all the treasures in the nest can be seen, the most eye-catching thing in the center of the nest is the floating golden dragon-shaped mysterious existence swimming in mid-air, which is a token. Lin Mu thought of a legend that in ancient times, there existed a divine-level village-building token that could establish an supreme imperial dynasty. It is said that the imperial city of the Han dynasty was built using the divine-level village-building token. For some unknown reason, Lin Mu thought to himself, this is the heart of a god-level city, the village-building order for establishing a god-level village. You must get it. Get it. An indescribable and uncontrollable ambition filled Lin Mu's heart, uncontrollable thoughts, as if his soul was also tempted. Lin Mu did not charge like other players, but only instructed his soldiers to attack the boss. Mythical Three Kingdoms is a mysterious and emerging virtual online game. The virtual degree has reached the legendary 100%, I don't know if it is at first, many people didn't believe it, but now many people are crazy about entering this game, and Lin Mu also knows a lot about Shinmi. Lin Mu is just one of the ordinary players, and now he and other players are exploring a game boss like other games, dreaming of killing the boss and exploding artifacts. The setting of death in Mythical Three Kingdoms is very cruel. After death, players will turn into white bodies through the Hall of Reincarnation, and their levels, skills, and items will all turn into nothingness. Only by using gold coins and other items to buy the previous levels, skills, or items from the Hall of Reincarnation, of course, the cost is crazy enough. Numerous players roast many times, but still can't do anything about it. The game's main brain, Nuwa, has not changed at all. One death is like a complete loss, and such a setting can be described as returning to the white body after death. Although the cruel punishment of death hangs like a sharp sword in their hearts, players still rush forward to fight the dragon hand to hand, and the gains and losses are only measured in their hearts. Lin Mu knows how abnormal this hegemon who dominates Huanglong Peak is, but on the land of China, players are like ants, capable of breaking through embankments in terms of quantity and resilience. The sunset has set, and the sun has risen again. Lin Mu doesn't know how long it has been. Anyway, the military power in his territory has been completely depleted, and the military power of his boss is also the same. The war situation is extremely fierce, his physical strength has turned red, his body is exhausted, his hands are trembling, his weapons are all damaged, their durability has returned to zero, and his blood has solidified into blocks, hanging on his body in a chaotic state. Lin Mu didn't know how many pills and food he had taken. Anyway, if he was hungry, he would eat them, and if his stamina was depleted, he would take recovery pills. Finally, after an unknown amount of time, there was a change in the battlefield. The behemoth in the center of the battlefield is also on the brink of death. After countless sacrifices, this boss has still been conquered. Ding! The system prompts that after endless hardships, you have achieved the 187th victory in the battle, gaining reputation plus 18700, combat power plus 5, command power plus 100, and force plus 1. The system's prompt sounded as usual, but Lin Mu remained calm. Lin Mu looked at the familiar yet unfamiliar figure and let out a slight sigh. Finally, he had returned her favor, unsure if he had let go of the burden or felt even more disappointed. There are not many players left on the battlefield, mostly under her subordinates. There is no one around her who has sacrificed themselves. For the sake of her elusive human feelings, she has sacrificed her brothers who have gone through life and death, and there is an indescribable pain in her heart. The wealth in one's own hands is not enough to revive them, so one can only choose to start over. In addition, Lin Mu also knows that someone is secretly digging his own corner, and he heard that many players have secretly changed their portals. Lin Mu doesn't blame them either. People walk higher, water flows lower. Perhaps in her eyes, she was just a subordinate, cannon fodder after killing the boss. It's the most exciting way to divide the loot. No, divide the boss's drops and the treasures it guards. Lin Mu, however, did not have such excitement. This time, he was just a drop in the bucket of cannon fodder from all sides, and in the eyes of some people, it was optional. The power in their own territory is also very weak, which is not a concern in their eyes. Thank you all for your hard work today. Once the spoils of war are counted, I will have a heavy thank you. I hope it can make up for everyone's losses today. The familiar voice came, and Lin Mu remained expressionless. Yinggu Qianying received the items dropped by the boss into her treasure bag, and finally walked into the coveted nest with everyone. Lin Mu did not follow them in, but only approached the massive body of Huanglong, which was like a mountain. All the items that fell after Huanglong's death were collected, and even his body was collected, leaving only the bones. Lin Mu didn't start collecting, just stared slightly, as if he had let go of his obsession, and his face slowly relaxed. Lin Mu, sitting cross-legged, suddenly saw a beam of light. What's that? Suddenly, the huge corpse turned into a light and shadow, slowly condensing into a finger-sized pill, floating in the air, incredibly supernatural. Lin Mu was also startled by this sudden change. Excitedly walking over, he reached out and held the pill in his hand, amazed. It should be a good thing, and my trip is worth it. What treasure are you holding? Hand it over immediately. A voice that shattered the tranquility sounded on the silent mountaintop. Lin Mu looked slightly aside and was one of the subordinates of his former boss. He had some conflicts with him before, which was also one of the reasons why he broke away from the gang and became independent. What kind of treasure is bothering you? Get lost. Lin Mu was in a bad mood, and seeing this trash made his mood even worse. His tone was not as calm as usual. You traitor, if it weren't for the boss warning us not to trouble you, you would have died countless times. Your unclean hands and feet still couldn't be corrected. Fortunately, the gang expelled you, otherwise you would be a rat poop, damaging our reputation. This general's tone was sinister and harsh. You don't deserve to talk to me, trash. Lin Mu hated this person who didn't live up to his name and was extremely hypocritical, as if he had a natural grudge and was very difficult to deal with. Lin Mu turned around and left. Anyway, his goal had already been achieved, and staying here was just to find someone to hold grudges against. I won't reach out to ask for those treasures myself, even if they are divine artifacts, I don't mind them. From now on, I will go my separate ways, like strangers. I couldn't beat you before, but now you're seriously injured. Killing you is like slaughtering a dog, go ahead and die. The man turned around and stabbed Lin Mu with his smooth and sharp thin sword, which pierced through his chest from the back. The gurgling blood kept gushing out, soaking through the broken chest armor. Unexpectedly, he shamelessly attacked from behind. But with his character, nothing can be accomplished. Lin Mu was unable to support his body and half knelt on the ground. Traitor, you used to kill me once and cost me half of my assets, but now you finally have revenge. You also have today. What 18 divine generals? A traitor is just an ant. If it weren't for the boss's restraint, you would have died 1,000 times before I could have exhausted my hatred. Lin Mu didn't speak, just smiled and looked at the beautiful figure that seemed to have appeared in front of him a long time ago. If she guessed right, Yu reading www.yuyukangshu.net had a chance to stop the despicable man from assassinating her just now, but she didn't. In her eyes, she may have no value now, and her life and death are not of any importance. The woman stood aloof in front, her gaze wandering. Are you finally going to die? Lin Mu has not died once since the game started. Lin Mu had often heard of the horror of the reincarnation hall before, but with his own skills, Mythical Three Kingdoms has never been killed in battle since its opening. I am finally going to die. Perhaps even if she died, she would have paid off all the debts she owed her, and from then on, she would be like a stranger, going her own way. Recalling the past, everything is not important anymore, what is important is to start over. Ding. System prompt. Lord Lin Mu, you have died in battle and your soul has returned to the reincarnation hall. It has been detected that there is a rebirth pill in your own space. Do you want to use it? Oh, it seems like I haven't received the rebirth pill before. How could I suddenly have this thing? Lin Mu was also at a loss in his heart. Is it that pill? Lin Mu remembered the elixir that had suddenly transformed from the skeleton of the Huanglong, which was incredibly miraculous. It should have had an extraordinary effect, and he couldn't believe it could be reborn. Based on my own experience, this pill should be one of the legendary items that can avoid the punishment of death cycle. A drink and a peck will determine one's destiny. I never thought I was fortunate enough to receive such a pill. Lin Mu silently thought to himself, using, as if he saw the pill emitting an endless chaotic light enveloping him. Lin Mu also felt very comfortable, as if he had forgotten all the pain and was deeply asleep. In the midst of confusion, Lin Mu seemed to mention the familiar system prompt sound, but he couldn't even remember the specific content. Chapter 2. A Return to Mythical Three Kingdoms. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On December 31, 2078, excitedly standing on the bustling street, Lin Mu's eyes flickered with excitement, as if he could discharge. Now is the day before the virtual holographic online game Mythical World opened. I can't believe I'm reborn. Thinking of my 4 years of hard work, with ups and downs and various heartaches surging in my heart, I said, I won't have any more compromises. Now that I have experience that you can't compare to, I will definitely stand at the peak of the world and guide the country. You wait, I will let you know what despair is. I will make you regret it. Lin Mu became excited and loudly expressed his feelings. Mom, why is that brother laughing so lewd? A little lowly holding her hand said in a milky voice. Maybe it's a breakup. The young mother seemed very experienced. Mom, what is a breakup? Being heartbroken is being heartbroken. Don't worry too much, let's go buy ice cream to eat. Mom said helplessly. Okay, little friend, it's still easy to divert attention. Upon hearing the conversation between these two mothers and daughters, Lin Mu's face turned black. I just accidentally spoke my heart. Lin Mu focused his attention on the virtual screen hanging on the building. The world's first virtual holographic online game, Mythical World, emerged from the sky. You can once again have the starting point of life. No, this slogan is not right. I clearly remember it was anything is possible. How did it become, you can have the starting point of life again? Lin Mu was a bit confused. When he saw this anything is possible, he even pursed his lips. This advertisement sold you 3 points, and you plagiarized. Is it because I was reborn in a different world? But I am very certain that my current world is the Earth I used to live on, but it must have changed invisibly. Is this the legendary butterfly effect? I don't know if the situation in the game will change, but I hope the change won't be too big, otherwise 3 years of experience will become useless. Lin Mu is an orphan, a child raised by the butler's grandfather. And the butler grandpa is an old intelligent simulation robot. Nowadays, it has developed to simulate biological humans, which are synthetic creatures that mimic humans with various biological advantages. For example, humans with ant power can help humans perform many difficult tasks. Intelligent simulation robots are all outdated technologies, and Lin Mu's grandfather is a somewhat dilapidated and emotional robot. From childhood to adulthood, Grandpa took care of him, like a giant shielding him from the sky and rain, allowing him to enjoy his lonely childhood. Nowadays, social welfare is very well established, and with the savings left by their parents who are nowhere to be seen, they have spent a peaceful 17 years carefree. But when Lin Mu reached adulthood, at the age of 18, the deeply emotional butler, who had been with him for many years, left him, not missing, but silently leaving behind a letter and an antique ring. Lin Mu cherished both letters and rings well and never moved them. Even now, Lin Mu knows that these two things are secretly hidden under his bed. Lin Mu, who had read the letter, did not search for his grandfather. In today's technologically advanced world, although there is a wealth of technological knowledge, education remains the same as before. Lin Mu went to school at the age of 7 and went to university at the age of 19, which is also his life of studying in school. During his 4 years of college, he became obsessed with virtual online games. In that virtual world, he fought fiercely and was known as a somewhat famous expert. The savings of virtual banks also have some money, one person is full, and the whole family is not hungry. When he saw this promotion back then, he still bought a virtual helmet, but there was nothing else because the game's promotion was overwhelming, as if it had become the focus of people's life discussions. Do you know Mythical World? As a professional player, Lin Mu became one of the first pioneers to enter the game, possessing the capital to dominate a county and a small lord. However, before his rebirth, he was still scheming and fighting with those around him. He was just a small person, an ordinary person with a history of love and hate. Later, he was recruited by a peerless beauty from the same school, which means that his own territory was merged into her territory and became a vassal. This was also a helpless choice for many players who were suppressed by big forces. However, Lin Mu was voluntary because that Qianying was someone he secretly loved in his heart. No complaints or regrets even if later excluded from independent development, relying on experience, a small mountain village was upgraded to a county town, which can be considered as having extraordinary abilities. Finally, she once again summoned herself to help conquer a dominant boss, and Lin Mu remained silent, as always. Now, due to the mutated rebirth pill, Lin Mu has returned. The day before the game started, it was truly a miracle. This is the biggest secret of Lin Mu. Now he needs to set his sights far, such as becoming a warlord on one side. Thinking about it, he still feels a little excited. Thinking of immortality and infinite lifespan, Lin Mu trembled with excitement. Mythical World is a virtual game represented by all governments on Earth. It is true that all governments lead the development of the Earth, with countless technologies flourishing and the exploration of the universe also beginning. Controlling all the people on Earth, the government is a behemoth. In today's world, all the governments on Earth have formed a federal government, whose predecessor was the United Nations. Although it is a federal government with only its name but no actual name, its power is stronger than that of the United Nations in some aspects, but it is still controlled by several rogue countries in rotation. After extensive promotion from various countries, many people have logged into this game. The name of Mythical World varies in different countries, and in China where Lin Mu is located, it is called Mythical Three Kingdoms. The lifespan obtained in Mythical World can increase physical health in the real world. The enhancements obtained in Mythical World can also enhance the real body. The Mythical World is an opportunity for human evolution. This is a very explosive announcement, causing countless consequences. Of course, this news was announced by the government in real time, 6 months after the game ran. In fact, many powerful players have also discovered many secrets in the game, but in the professional gaming industry, there have been many kidnapping and murder incidents, many of which have been suppressed by major forces or the government. On December 31st now, people are just a masterpiece of a certain gaming company, and ordinary people still live their peaceful lives. But in the upper echelons of regions around the world, there are hidden waves surging, and they are the masters and wealth giants of various countries. Regarding Mythical World, there is also very little information provided. The game world is controlled by the most powerful intelligent brain, NUWA, without a human manager. There is only one server in the world, and only the intelligent brain has management permissions for the game player's information. There is no permission to view anything else, which completely eliminates the possibility of leaking player information and greatly improves the security of players in the real world. Each major agency only provides sales and maintenance management of game equipment, as well as the development and establishment management of some game peripherals and game studios. Player information may still be exposed through practical means, but as long as you keep it confidential and do not casually disclose relevant information to other players, security is still very high. Mythical World is a game that combines Lord strategy and Green Forest adventure. The entire game map is created based on the enlarged terrain of the real Earth, but some terrain may also be changed due to the rules of the Mythical World. Due to strategic needs, specific mountain ranges, rivers, or city names and locations may be slightly adjusted. The length and width of the map have increased by about 40 times, and the height has increased by 100 times. That is to say, in reality, a small mountain that is 100 meters high can reach a height of 10,000 meters in the game, and Mount Everest is only as high. It is extremely frightening to think carefully. Of course, these data are just player summaries, not official data. The specific size has not been explored in many places, it is just speculation. Of course, these are all estimates made by the players themselves, and NU's super intelligent brain did not provide any information. However, with larger maps, players can explore more secrets and greatly increase the playability of the game. Based on the actual national borders, the game background of each country is taken from a certain section of the historical development of each region, with the cold weapon history as the tone, becoming a world with rich historical storyline and flesh. If there is no cold weapon history in the region, it is automatically generated by the intelligent brain based on the world background. Specific game background information can be viewed in the game history background on the Mythical World homepage. And China's history is taken from the late Eastern Han Dynasty to the Three Kingdoms period. Lin Mu slowly calmed down and thought for a while before leaving. He's going home. He just ran out of the street excitedly because of his rebirth. He didn't even bring a smart watch and couldn't buy a gaming helmet. Hurriedly running home, opening the door, everything familiar in the house was rented by Lin Mu himself outside the school. Now Lin Mu is still a senior student. When I was in my senior year, Yu reading at www.yuukangshu.net went out alone to rent a house for the convenience of becoming a professional player. Because professional players often have inconsistent schedules and are afraid of affecting their dormitory classmates, they came out. Thinking of the 3 roommates in the dormitory, Lin Mu also had some nostalgia. He was originally planning to buy a helmet today. Although there is still one day before the game opens, he knows some secrets that can give him a slight advantage in the early stages. If he has an advantage, don't just be foolish. If you delay entering the game due to buying a game helmet, then the crime is too serious. It is also possible to purchase on battle.net, but there are no special rewards. Arriving at the sales location in the city center square, Lin Mu did not go to the front sales point. Instead, he turned to a bionic receptionist on the side and said, "Hello, may I help you?" "Hello, I am a relative of an employee at Tianyua's studio in Shanghai City. I am here to buy a game helmet. Please provide the ID of the relevant game studio personnel. GZ03 Tai 237. Okay, please pay 5,899 renminbi. The current currency is still Chinese yuan, commonly known as soft girl currency. In the professional player circle, everyone uses the common name. However, due to the changing times, the exchange rate between the Chinese yuan and the US dollar is 1.1, which is also the most obvious manifestation of the increase in China's national strength. Lin Mu has taken a loophole here. The situation where he can buy game studio helmets was told to him by a local professional player friend in his past life. However, at that time, the permissions of this studio were all suspended, and now he can still buy without a limit on the quantity. As long as there is relevant information to prove, he can buy as much as he wants. It is not a big deal for Lin Mu to quietly use this information, and other players' families will use it. Lin Mu is not afraid to expose his identity. Chapter 3. Creating Characters, Lin Mu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In fact, helmets are not particularly special. There are no artifacts or game currency gifts. It's just that Jinao, in order to provide some knowledgeable people from various countries with some convenience, can offer a small prop reward at the beginning of the game, such as a teleportation symbol that can be used to place a designated character. This provides great convenience for some organized players. It should be noted that using teleportation arrays in the game can cost 1 gold coin at a time, and some special teleportation arrays are even more expensive. 1 gold coin equals 100 silver coins equals 10,000 copper coins. When a player is new, they only receive a system reward of 500 copper coins. Buying equipment, food, and so on require a lot of coins. Survival is already very difficult, let alone teleportation. With this fixed point teleportation symbol, organized players can gather together, giving faction leaders a better advantage. Originally, players logged into Mythical World by randomly landing in various cities. But for Lin Mu, with his unique experiences, he can accumulate some early advantages based on past life strategies, which gives him the opportunity to dominate the future. Mythical World currently does not have unparalleled influence in the future, but the number of people buying game helmets is also terrifying. Now Lin Mu doesn't have the money to buy a virtual gaming cabin. Let's buy it when we have free money in the future. Lin Mu, who had received his helmet, rushed back to renting the house without stopping. Returning to the room, the game world had not yet opened, so Lin Mu seized the opportunity to reminisce about his past experiences and slowly write them down in his notebook on the morning of January 1, 2079, at 8 o'clock, which can be recorded in the history of the new century. Mythical World officially opened. This day is New Year's Day, and many people are on vacation. Many people who have purchased helmets have entered the game, and the number has reached a small peak. It is said that 600 million Chinese citizens entered the game on this day. The latest population statistics of Huaxia district in 2078 are about 2 billion. Put on your helmet and lie quietly in bed. The helmet production is still very reasonable, and there will be no numbness caused by lying in bed for too long. It has advanced functions such as massage. At 8 o'clock, Lin Mu felt a sense of darkness before his eyes and arrived at a magnificent scene. He knew it was an introduction to some historical background scenes, and as someone familiar with everything, he immediately skipped these introductions. In fact, these introductions were still very useful for novice players, but he had already understood them in his heart. A celestial temple-like building appeared in front of me, with flowing lights and countless patterns shining on it. In the middle and above, a fairy who does not eat human fireworks floated in the air, exuding an extraordinary temperament. Beautiful, really beautiful. Although I saw her again, I couldn't help but praise her in my heart. Hello, I want to create a character, he said, slightly converging his mind. Welcome to the world of Three Kingdoms mythology, please name your character. Like the heavenly sound floating from the clouds, the fairy tale is ethereal. Lin Mu said the name of the character he had already thought of. In Mythical Three Kingdoms, the player's name can be repeated, but there is one thing that cannot be repeated, which is the character. For example, Guojia, who is known as a ghost talent, can have his name taken by others, but the character is only unique to Guojia and the character is Fengxiao. Now binding the character, please wait, the original soul binding is successful, DNA binding is successful. Now performing a body scan. Please wait. Body scan completed, attribute confirmation. The account is bound to your brainwave, and this game account has uniqueness. You don't need to log into the account every time you enter the game. The system scans the brainwave and automatically logs into the game. Please note that each person has only one account, corresponding to a unique character, and character roles cannot be deleted. Name. Lin Mu. Occupation. None, depending on the player's nature. The professions in the game are generals and strategists, etc. Title. None, title will add different attributes and can stack attributes. Reputation. 0, the higher your reputation, the more people will know you, and you will have special effects. I hope to accumulate more. Killing players or NPCs from the same faction will reduce your reputation. Identity. Han refugees, identity represents the camp, killing different camps will have reputation, etc. Merit. 0, merit can be used to enhance the player's official position and also increase the NPC's recognition of the player. Level. 0, 0%. Basic attributes. Force 8, force is a general concept that represents comprehensive physical fitness, and the main attribute of a general is force. Intelligence 8, intelligence can improve a character's emotional intelligence and analytical ability, and the main attribute of a scholar is intelligence. Commander-in-Chief 6, Commander-in-Chief is a manifestation of a character's leadership ability, which can enhance the character's leadership ability. Politics 5, the ability of individuals to handle government. Affairs, derived attributes. Combat power. 800 plus 10, force * 100 plus weapon and equipment bonus, more one-sided expression of the character's combat power. A person's combat power does not highlight their strength, and there are other bonuses such as divine strategy power when using skills, which are the main attributes of generals. Commanding power 600, 1 point in command increases commanding power by 100 points, representing the efficiency and quantity of troops under the command of the character, which is a general attribute, divine strategy power. 800, intelligence * 100, divine strategy value is required to be consumed by a character when using skills. The amount of divine strategy value consumed varies depending on the skill, and it is a main attribute such as a strategist. Internal efficiency. 5%, 1 point in politics increases internal efficiency by 1%. The ability of a representative character to handle political or daily affairs is considered a scholar attribute, with a starting point of 100% for a scholar. Physical strength. 100 is the initial physical strength of a character, which can be increased by items, treasures, etc. It represents the character's physical strength and mobility. When the physical strength is consumed to 50, it will require rest, eating, and other recovery behaviors. If the physical strength is consumed to below 20, the overall attribute will be reduced to 10%. If the physical strength is 0, it cannot be moved. If it is 0 for a long time, it will die. Speed. 10 plus 1, 10 is the character's basic speed plus 1 is the cloth shoe bonus, representing the character's maximum speed on the road, not the movement speed during battles. Defense, plus 1, cloth bonus, representing the character's defense. Morale. 60, the original morale value is 60, and the morale value can be increased through skills, items, or battlefield changes. The higher the morale, the character will exert corresponding combat power and fight more bravely. Conversely, low morale will reduce combat attributes or generate deserters. Talent. Not activated, different talents need to be activated according to the player's different experiences, and they generally cannot be changed after activation. Skill. Primary collection technique, 0%. Specialty. None equipment. Cloth, plus 1 defense, cloth shoes, plus 1 speed, wooden spear, plus 10 combat power, wealth. 500 copper coins origin attribute point. 0, currently, each level can add 4 origin attributes, confirm. This attribute is still very satisfactory. The attribute is generated by scanning based on one's own body condition. One's own body is still good, and all attributes are the same as in the previous life. Due to the additional reward signal on your helmet, we will reward you with 1 fixed teleportation symbol, which will be placed in your backpack space. Please confirm. Since you have a teleportation symbol, you can choose your birthplace at a specific location. You can choose your place of birth in the following states: Sili, Yuzhou, Qingzhou, Yuzhou, Yenzhou, Shuzhou, Bingzhou, Liangzhou, Jingzhou, Yangzhou, Yizhou, Jizhou, and Jiaozhou. Yangzhou, Lin Mu, who had already made a decision, did not hesitate. After Lin Mu finished speaking, a virtual screen map appeared in front of him, which had detailed annotations of mountains and lakes. Please point it. Huanglong Peak in Dongye County, Kuaiji County, Yangzhou, and that's it. Lin Mu confirmed the coordinates repeatedly and pointed to a point on the map. Birthplace confirmation, have you entered the game? Yes. Shenzhou, in the late Eastern Han Dynasty, on January 1, 180 AD, you descended on Huanglong Peak in Huanglong Valley under the jurisdiction of Dongye County, Kuaiji County, Yangzhou. A white light flashed through, and Lin Mu found himself standing on a right-angled cliff, which was an extremely steep mountain peak in Zhongdangai County, Kuaiji County. Lin Mu had planned for it long ago, and this was the nest of Huanglong, a divine beast that Lin Mu had finally conquered in his past life, reaching level 100. Huanglong. In the past life, there have been many bloody battles here, because the more powerful the boss, the better the items will explode. The last bloody battle I participated in my past life seemed to be before my eyes. And for his recent memories, Lin Mu is still looking forward to it very much. Before his rebirth, he coveted the treasure on this mountain peak so much. But recalling the scene at that time with a slight sigh, Lin Mu quickly looked around at the situation. Looking around carefully, it's 8:00 in the morning. This time is when Huanglong comes out early to look for food or eats the essence of the sun and the moon. Lin Mu doesn't care. Anyway, Huanglong is not in his nest now. Many players in previous generations know this detail after countless bloody explorations. Seeing the empty nest, suppressing the excitement in my heart, I immediately stepped forward and rushed towards the center of the nest filled with twigs and leaves. This incredibly huge nest occupied most of the mountain peak, and one side was filled with dead bones, indicating that it was a bloody eating spot. Lin Mu, full of hope and excitement, ran for nearly 10 minutes to get close to the center of the nest. Looking closely, the air seemed to have mist, like a fairyland. The nest occupied by divine beasts must also be a spiritual land, extraordinary. Lin Mu doesn't need to be very careful either, after all, there are no other fierce beasts on Huanglong Peak, only Huanglong, who dominates the entire mountain peak. However, it is easy to climb up the mountain but difficult to descend. Lin Mu came here through the system and it takes 2 days to go down. This shows the towering and rugged nature of this mountain peak. Fortunately, there were no other wild beasts on the mountain, otherwise my thin and weak body would not be enough to blow in one breath. In the center of the nest, it is filled with various items, including equipment, natural materials, and treasures. The light is flowing everywhere and the fragrance is fragrant. If anyone obtains the wealth inside, they will definitely become rich overnight. Slightly restraining his greed, Lin Mu knew his goal, but don't let these ordinary things hinder his big plan. Ordinary things are useless, and now he only has 500 copper in his arms, which is not even comparable to ordinary things like hair. In the center of various items, there is a suspended object and a token shining with colorful flowing light, which is the god-level city heart that I and my subordinates fought hard to conquer in the past life. It is also a treasure that countless players crave. But whether it is really a divine village building order or not, we need to see it before we know. The city heart, also known as the village building order, allows players to establish territories in the early stages. If the territory is upgraded to a city, then the village building order becomes the city heart, which is very important. If someone breaks through the city and breaks the city heart, then the city will fall. If this is the heart of a divine city, then an initial village with divine attributes can be established. It should be noted that many players in their previous lives built their initial villages with city hearts of yellow or Xian levels, which had basic attribute enhancements. However, in their previous lives, Lin Mu did not know about the attributes of city hearts of god level, but he knew that players with city hearts were standing at the top of the world. The heart of the city is divided into Huangjia, Xuangjia, Dijia, and Tianjia, which are openly passed down by players, while the heart of the city of the god level is a legend that players hear from indigenous NPCs and do not know if it is true or false. Legend has it that the divine capital of Luoyang was established using the divine level village building decree. Chapter 4. Huanglong Order. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The additional basic attributes of the village building order for each level are different, and the higher the level, the better the more attributes added. This is something that every player knows. I didn't expect to receive this token, haha. I will definitely seize this opportunity, everyone, wait for me. Lin Mu has 90% confidence and speculates that this is the legendary divine level village building order. Grasping the token in his hand, a system prompt sounded in his ear. Congratulations on obtaining the Yellow Dragon Order. Although there was only this prompt, Lin Mu was startled by a huge wave in his heart. Surprisingly, it's not the village building order. A huge disappointment filled my heart, filled with bitterness, and I surprisingly guessed wrong. But upon hearing the name, it should be extraordinary. Yellow Dragon Order, is it difficult to summon a divine dragon? Grasping the token in his hand, it seemed like a divine dragon soaring passionately. His tightly clenched hands trembled slightly, and Lin Mu's heart was also shaken. Being able to summon a divine dragon should be very impressive, don't be unsatisfied. Lin Mu thought to himself. However, when Lin Mu checked his attributes, he found that he was wrong again. It turned out that this was still the village building order, but the name had changed, and he was just ignorant. Name: Huanglong Ling equal level. Divine level features. City Heart, unique special item special attribute 1. Auspicious Earth Virtue, not activated. The yellow dragon belongs to the earth and symbolizes auspiciousness. It is honored according to the dragon vein and needs to be born from it. The land of the dragon vein, blessed with abundant spiritual resources, can become a primary spiritual land. The territories that need to be occupied include the dragon vein and the blessed land. Special attribute 2. Humanistic glory, not activated. Benevolent to heaven, a path of moral cultivation, only benevolence is the way, and peace within the universe. Special attribute 3. Humanistic blessing, not activated. ZP sentient beings, everyone is like a dragon. The qualification for naturalization has been increased by 1 level. Special attribute 4. Enyuwa's pity, not activated. The great goddess Enyuwa hopes that people can transform it into a 9 heavenly dragon, dominating the world and gathering the energy of heaven and earth. The overall attribute of resources occupied by the territory has been increased by 100%. In his past life, his boss spent countless costs to obtain items that were so magical. It is countless times more divine than the territorial attribute tokens that Lin Mu had seen before. The secret behind the Yellow Dragon Order is still unclear to me, and I need to slowly dig it out. Lin Mu is now in a huge surprise, like riding a roller coaster, rising and falling one after another. It is really agonizing, but fortunately, he is still happy in the end. Putting the token in the backpack gave me a slight sigh of relief. The player's backpack is a 6x6 is equal to 36 grid backpack, with a maximum accumulation of 99. That is to say, if it is for storing grain, each grid can hold 99 units of grain. Watching the Yellow Dragon Order lying in his backpack shining countless dazzling lights, Lin Mu was extremely excited. However, Lin Mu immediately suppressed his excitement, and now he is not completely safe. Looking around, there were countless treasures, equipment, and supplies, but Lin Mu dared not take them anymore. If he had taken these things and wasted his escape time, he would have been killed by Huanglong when he came back and dropped the Yellow Dragon token from his backpack. It was a tragedy that could not be cried out with tears. And there is also an important point: Lin Mu is afraid that these items will be contaminated with the breath of Huanglong. When it returns and finds itself along the breath, it will be a tragedy. After reading the attributes of the Yellow Dragon Order, Lin Mu immediately turned around and ran wildly. Although it was described as a long time ago, in fact, Lin Mu only experienced about 30 seconds. Lin Mu is going down the mountain, he will go down immediately. According to the surrounding path map obtained from one's past life, there are many paths to take in Huanglong Valley. However, if you want to avoid Huanglong and go to the ideal place to establish your territory, Huanglong Valley, then there is only one path to take. As he walked down the path, Lin Mu kept running non-stop, running at his maximum speed. Perhaps he even exerted his power to breastfeed, as if he had lost 2 legs. The time for Huanglong to return to his nest was very fast, and now it has been 30 seconds. Lin Mu is not sure if Huanglong always returns according to the pattern, so it is better to be cautious. Running towards the familiar path and towards Huanglong Valley. Huanglong is now very large in size, covering the sky and sun, soaring thousands of miles. I don't know why, but later on, during the Lin Mu's campaign, that Huanglong seemed to be no longer the same as before. Its size became very small, and its strength seemed to have declined, as if it had been replaced by another dragon. Lin Mu was also unclear about the reason behind it. However, it is the weak point of Huanglong that requires countless human and material resources to overcome. The current Huanglong deity is as terrifying and majestic as a deity, oppressing the town for thousands of miles. If it finds out that this ordinary thief has stolen its things, it doesn't know if it will swallow it in one gulp or if it's worth 8 yuan or something. Thinking of this, Lin Mu's footsteps seemed to quicken, rustling with wind. When Lin Mu was running, he didn't know what was going on, as if someone was watching him, not sure if it was an illusion, but Lin Mu, who was running wildly, selectively ignored it. After running for almost an hour, Lin Mu looked at the surrounding scenery. It was still the same, surrounded by bushes and clouds, as if it had not moved. There were many such views on the huge Huanglong peak, and Lin Mu knew he had run a long way, but it was still very far from the destination. Suddenly, a huge shadow enveloped the mountain peak, and Lin Mu's body was also covered. Lin Mu knew that the dragon had returned to its nest, so he immediately held his breath and gently hid his figure in weeds, not daring to move at all, to avoid being noticed by a huge figure. My small figure is like an ant in Huanglong's eyes. I hope you don't find me, this ant. Lin Mu constantly comforts himself in his heart. I don't know how long Lin Mu prayed in his heart, but the dark shadow had already passed by and he probably didn't notice him. If you discover it, you can blow Lin Mu away in one breath. This is not a joke, it's completely possible. After tidying up his mood and confirming that the yellow dragon order was still in his backpack, Lin Mu set off again at a faster pace. Although the maps in Mythical Three Kingdoms have increased many times, 40, length, *40, width, *100, height, the corresponding speed of the characters has also changed and increased to adapt to the larger maps. At Lin Mu's current speed, it will take approximately 2 days to leave this rugged and steep peak, which is 10,000 meters high. Now Lin Mu has just left and can't see that huge nest. The long road is long, alone on the road after running wildly for half a day. As it was getting late, a stunning System World announcement rang in Lin Mu's ear. World announcement. Congratulations to Salad Rockefeller in the United States for establishing the world's first village, the City of Angels, and bestowing the title of World's First Village, with a special reward of 1/4 level special barracks. Salad Rockefeller's personal level +3, original attributes +3, reputation +300. We hope players continue to work hard, make achievements, and dominate the world. World announcement. Congratulations to Salad Rockefeller in the United States for establishing the world's first village, the City of Angels, and bestowing the title of World's First Village, with a special reward of 1/4 level special barracks. Salad Rockefeller's personal level +3, original attributes +3, reputation +300. We hope players continue to work hard, make achievements, and dominate the world. World announcement. Congratulations to Salad Rockefeller in the United States for establishing the world's first village, the City of Angels, and bestowing the title of World's First Village, with a special reward of 1/4 level special barracks. Salad Rockefeller's personal level +3, original attributes +3, reputation +300. We hope players continue to work hard, make achievements, and dominate the world. 3 times familiarizing oneself with sensational system announcements, the world is full of ups and downs, and countless players may sigh, regret, or work hard. The Game Battle Network forum is definitely in a state of excitement. Lin Mu also doesn't know how players in the American region got the village building token, but there must have been an adventure. Now that he has also achieved a miracle, it doesn't prevent others from having an adventure. In his past life, this player also established his first village and received countless player reputation and system rewards. Special reward. 1/4 level special military camp, which can recruit leaders to transfer to special units. It will definitely be helpful for players in the early stage of development. It is necessary for military forces to stand at the forefront all at once, and Lin Mu can no longer rest. His pace is accelerating. On the road, Lin Mu kept running, holding the food sent by the system and eating continuously, without even stopping to eat, in a hurry. Eating food can restore the player's stamina. Running requires the player to expend stamina, but if it's not a battle, it won't cost much. As long as you eat something to recover, it can support running for 3 days without any problem. Lin Mu did not express any sighs or opinions on the announcement. His biggest problem now is to rush to Huanglong Valley, establish his own village, and strive to be the second in the world to establish a village, so that he can receive special rewards. The 4th level special military camp mentioned in the announcement is very attractive to Lin Mu, but someone has already obtained it. Yu reading www.yuukangshu.net cannot change it. It's not a pity, as long as you work hard. I still have about 2 days to walk, keep going and keep cheering for myself in my heart. I didn't encounter any players on the way, and there are still no one exploring the depths of the wilderness. Most of the new players randomly descend into the county and town, except for players like Lin Mu who have fixed teleportation symbols to choose from, but only a very small number. They also hope to see if there are any adventures through adventure. Lin Mu knows that many players have adventures, and compared to a huge player group, there are still many players who choose to randomly descend, with various adventures constantly occurring. In my past life, I also saw players falling into the beast nest on the Forum of Warnet, sweeping away everything inside and making a fortune. However, in some special regions, players cannot randomly descend. Nowadays, most players are active around the county town. With a systematic building, they can buy various weapons and resources, and even fight monsters to sell some resources to the system for money. This way, the development in the early stage will not be too slow, and the rookie period in the early stage is still very nostalgic. The hard life of beating bison with a wooden stick is unbearable. Due to the laws of the Han dynasty, it is not possible to mine iron ore without authorization, forge weapons, and many players do not have the money to buy weapons. If you rely on the poor drop rate of monster attacks, you really don't want to get better weapons. Only when players establish villages and occupy resources can they have the conditions to make weapons and equipment. Now they can only fight small monsters. If players go to the official iron mine as miners, they may have weapons as a reward. Lin Mu is also aware of such missions, but he chose to establish a territory in the wilderness, so the various conveniences of the system cannot be enjoyed. He can only rely on himself, but he has faith. Chapter 5. Dragon Rises from the Abyss, a Divine Village. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After several days of non-stop driving, Lin Mu finally descended from Huanglong Peak and arrived at the foot of Huanglong Peak. Under Huanglong Peak, there was a huge canyon surrounded by towering mountains on 3 sides, resembling a bowl for eating. However, one side of the bowl was missing, and the missing side was facing the sea. Finally arrived, this is the place where Lin Mu planned to build the village, Huanglong Valley. Huanglong Valley is a valley facing the sea to the east, where a huge river flows down from a peak in the Chilean Mountains and flows into the vast sea through the valley plain. To the north of Huanglong Valley is Huanglong Peak, to the east is the vast sea, and to the west is a continuous mountain range, endless. I don't know how many dangers there are inside, nor do I know if there are immortals living there. This is the Chilean Mountains, where the Huanglong River flows. To the south of Huanglong Valley is also a continuous mountain range, but in the past, Lin Mu knew that there were many exotic and mountain tribes with complex forces. In the future, that area will be one of the key points of Lin Mu's strategy. The terrain of Huanglong Valley is very flat, which can be considered a vast grassland with many wild animals inside. However, none of these can stop Lin Mu's determination to establish a village here. In Lin Mu's mind, this is the best place to establish village power in Yangzhou, surrounded by mountains on 3 sides and a sea on 1 side. There are many wild animals in the mountains, and there are still many fish in the sea, which is rich in resources. After running for half a day, Lin Mu arrived at the central area of Huanglong Valley, which is relatively close to Huanglong River and has both water and land. Take out the yellow dragon token from your backpack, with colorful flowing light that is incredibly magical and never tire of seeing it. The best village building token that Lin Mu had in his past life was only the earth level village building token, and the best looking token was only the heavenly level, with colorful circulation. The earth level only had two colors, with blue and blue intertwined, as if two dragons were floating in it. The 7-colored token in hand, as if it were an integrated whole, transformed into a golden dragon with a roaring sound coming out of the air, incredibly mysterious. Place the token in mid-air, bite through your finger, and drip your own blood onto it. The blood slowly seeps into the token, while the system's pleasant prompt sounds in your ear. Ding! System prompt. Player Lin Mu, do you want to use the Divine City Heart Yellow Dragon Order to build a village? Yes. Lin Mu confirmed with great excitement. The flowing light on the token immediately exploded and flew into the air, a rainbow glowed descending from the sky, illuminating all directions, truly extraordinary. When Lin Mu used tokens to build a village, when the flowing light surged into the sky, the ground seemed to hear a roaring array. Like a dragon howling for 9 days. Lin Mu found that the ground was like an earthquake. What's the situation? It's so difficult to see an earthquake happening here, don't be fooled. In my past life, I didn't even build a village in this valley like this. Is it a sudden change in heaven and earth caused by the use of the yellow dragon order? In response to the dragon-shaped flowing light soaring in the sky, vibrations from the ground are also constantly transmitted. After Lin Mu waited anxiously for a moment, the dancing flowing light transformed into a majestic illusion like a real dragon and disappeared into the ground ahead. A sound of reassuring joy came from Lin Mu's ear. The system prompts that the regional conditions meet the conditions for using the Yellow Dragon Order, and the village has been successfully established. The system prompts that the village has been successfully established. Please name the village. Please note that there is only one chance to name the village. Lin Mu seemed to have ignored the system's prompts and calmly entered the word Real Dragon. System prompt, True Dragon Village has been established. Player Lin Mu can view its attributes in the attribute panel of the Territories Council Hall. Just as Lin Mu was excited and about to check his attributes, countless system prompts rang in his ear. Congratulations on successfully establishing the world's second village, Huanglong Village, as prompted by the system. You have been awarded the title of World's Second Village and received a special reward. 1 special mineral vein. Personal level +2, origin attribute +2, reputation +200. I hope players will continue to work hard, make achievements, and dominate the world. We need to publish a world announcement now. Do you want to hide your name? Of course, hiding and being low key is the way. Don't be afraid of thieves stealing, just be afraid of thieves thinking. Moreover, since I am using my real name, if I were to be known by some financial and evil forces, with my current background, I would not be able to resist their unscrupulous means. At the same time, the announcement that all players in the 3 realms can hear is consistent with heaven and earth. Ding! World announcement. Congratulations on the establishment of the world's second village, Huanglong Village, in Huaxia District. It has been awarded the title of World's Second Village and received a special reward. 1 special mineral vein. Personal level +2, free attributes +2, reputation +200. I hope players continue to work hard, make achievements, and dominate the world. 3 consecutive times, causing countless players to sigh, the world's second village has appeared. The American region, like the civilization in the Huaxia region's mythical 3 kingdoms, has God civilization as its world background. The world's first village, the City of Angels. The player who established the first village, Sarid, also sighed, I didn't expect people from the east to establish their territories so early. It seems like there was a chance. I need to accelerate the construction speed, otherwise I will be caught up by them. My village building order was obtained through an agreement between the country and NUA. Now that China also has it, have they also compromised? Huaxia district has the largest population and a large number of players. Although the overall average level is not high, there are still many people who are crouching tigers and hiding dragons. If you want to stand firm, you cannot slack off. Salad is buried in handling territorial affairs, while looking at the special reward barracks, his mouth grins. Greater America is still the world's #1. In the eastern region, the civilization of the mythical warring states period is its background, and it is a chaotic and warlord-dominated warring states period. A wild monster spawning place, the president of the Imperial Guild, Taro Honda. Beijia Lu, why do people have such a good chance to establish territory before our great Japanese empire, Takeda Hattori? You should speed up the token task of building a village in the strategy system, and don't lag behind the people. When our great Japanese empire develops successfully, people and their land of treasures are lambs waiting to be slaughtered. Ha ha. The Indian region, known as the mythical Buddha kingdom civilization, is a cultural background dating back to the period of Buddhist practice. Europe, civilizations of the gods. Egypt region, the pharaonic civilization. Huaxia district, mythical Three Kingdoms civilization, Yenzhou, outside a forest, Xianyuan Changjing, the legitimate son and young head of the Xianyuan family, and the most outstanding disciple of the Xianyuan family. Xianyuan Changjing was wandering and fighting against a humanoid monster. This was a level 1 thief with a level of 13. He was able to attack with ease. Although he heard the world announcement and was shocked, it did not make him completely lose his composure. He only gave a slight pause. The wooden gun in his hand swung a bolt, hitting the thief's throat with a burst of blood. The thief fell to the ground and died, and a white small cloth bag rose from the dead thief, that was dropped by killing monsters or people. And there was also a prompt in my ear to obtain experience points. The drops in Mythical World appear in this way, where players kill wild monsters in the wild, and if there are additional drops, they appear in the form of white small cloth bags. If multiple items are dropped, there will be multiple items inside the small cloth bags. Xianyuan Changjing killed a second-level thief and dropped a small cloth bag, indicating that additional items were dropped in this kill. Killing monsters does not always result in additional items being dropped, and there is also a probability. Speaking of this probability, it really drives players crazy. Legend has it that it's 1 in 10,000, 1 in 1,000, and so on, but the probability is slim. A player under his command immediately stepped forward and picked up a small cloth bag, handing it to Xianyuan Changjing. A small white cloth bag, palm-sized, not exquisitely crafted, even somewhat rough. Xianyuan Changjing glanced slightly and put it into her backpack. He said to the old man beside him, "Order the members of the Shadow Legion under his command to investigate who established the village and see if they can find other ways to obtain the village building order. Also, if that player is a scattered person, not a member of a noble family, see if they can recruit that player." "Yes, young master. I will go and handle it immediately," said some elderly people around me. "All right, Tianhua, I've told you so many times that you don't need to call me young master," Xianyuan Changjing said helplessly, as if she had already warned me many times. "Hee, this is etiquette, etiquette cannot be abolished. Young master, don't be angry, and you can bear it." "I'll call you young master," the old man replied with a smile. "Oh, you're really..." Xianyuan Changjing smiled slightly. The conversation between the two was very plain, different from the enthusiasm and boldness of other players, as if Lin Mu's world was just a fleeting thing in their eyes and did not receive much attention. If Lin Mu were here, he would also be very surprised. After all, this Xianyuan Changjing was very powerful in his past life. Waha, I can't believe that our Greater China region has established the world's second village. It's really bringing glory to our country. The country's warriors. Quickly, take down this boss and see if you can issue a village building order. If you have one, you'll make a fortune. Come on brothers. The player who is fighting an elite monster is even more fierce and charging towards the monster. Check it out for me. Surprisingly, there was someone who built a village before me. When I found out that it destroyed his village and whitewashed his level, it made him regret it. He surpassed me, said the playboy's son. Countless players may envy, or hate each other, but Lin Mu can't hear them anyway. However, after the world announcement sounded, the announcement in this area followed suit, but it was very simple. Announcement from Huaxia District. Congratulations on the establishment of the first village in Huaxia District. We hope players will continue to work hard, make achievements, and compete for world dominance. This is also a common announcement for players in this area after establishing their territories. Regardless of the time, as long as players establish villages, they will make announcements in this area, such as Announcement from Huaxia District. Congratulations on the establishment of the village in Huaxia District. We hope players will continue to work hard, make achievements, and compete for world dominance. But now, as the gaming world has just opened, there are system announcements. Compared to countless announcements in the future, these announcements are a great opportunity to advertise. Although such hints are meaningful, they are not significant. There are really too many players building village territories in the future, maybe even those with over 100 hints have them. I'm used to it. And with development, some villages have been destroyed, while others have started anew. Countless situations have occurred, which is also why the diversity and playability of games attract people. The reward for establishing a territory announcement is only available among the top 3 in the world, and there are no other benefits. Lin Mu has already received the World Announcement Award, while the District Announcement Award will not be available. Lin Mu's world announcement is truly bringing glory to the country and has also boosted the enthusiasm of many players. It has prestige, special veins, levels, and original attribute points, which are really rich. No wonder those people in their past lives were crazily competing for the first or third place. The game has only started for less than 10 game days now, and the real world has only passed half a day. The time between the game world and the real world is 10.1, which is equivalent to 10 days in the game. Lin Mu has received a special reward from the system, which is now level 2, 0%, and has obtained 10 original attributes. Among them, 2 points are system rewards, and the other 8 points are 2 levels up. Each level automatically has 4 original attributes. Adding all the original attributes to the force, Lin Mu's force reached 14 points and his combat power reached 1410. Chapter 6. Properties of Divine Territory. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After assigning the attributes, Lin Mu began to check the surrounding environment. The flowing light dissipated, and an ancient and simple courtyard rose up from the ground, with countless small inscriptions and runes floating around. At present, Lin Mu is standing in the center of the courtyard, which is an open space with nothing at present. It is very simple and there are 3 rooms in front, and the middle one is the hall. Inside the hall, there are divine level village building orders placed, and the 2 adjacent rooms should be rest rooms or places for handling official duties. There are also 3 rooms on the right side of the yard, which are the 2 warehouses and kitchens of the village. After establishing the village, the system will give away some simple agricultural tools, rice seeds, common vegetable seeds, as well as some tools used by craftsmen, and so on. On the left side of the yard, a simple stable has been built, which can accommodate a few horses. Now there is no horsehair left, and the stable is temporarily useless. Lin Mu walked forward to check the attributes of the village established by the god-level village building order in the hall. Lin Mu couldn't wait, walked briskly, and quickly opened the door. After opening the door, Lin Mu first noticed not the decorations in the hall, but 2 people among them. That's right, there were 2 people. Lin Mu originally thought there was only one, because in his previous life, when he established a village, the system would automatically give a NPC junior civil servant to help the lord manage the territory. But now there are these additional benefits of the divine level village building order. Upon seeing Lin Mu, the two of them immediately stood up and saluted. Congratulations to the Lord. Congratulations to the Lord for successfully establishing the village and providing us with a safe place to live. Everyone has the same joy. With the help of two people in the future, the village will become better and better. Lin Mu was not surprised. After all, NPC's intelligence is no different from that of ordinary people. Subordinate Chang Yin, with the courtesy name Yuanjian, introduced the NPC standing on the left side. Subordinate Fengzhong, with the courtesy name Feng Jin, said the NPC standing on the right-hand side. Chang Yin was a middle-aged scholar, with a white face and a neat robe, a high crown and broad belt, steady and peaceful, and very elegant. Feng Zhong is also a middle-aged man, but his figure is burly, with a tiger back and a bare waist, a Chinese character face, a dignified complexion, dark hair, thick arms, and strong muscles, highlighting that he should be a fierce general. Upon hearing their words, Lin Mu also introduced himself. My name is Lin Mu, and I currently don't have any characters. Characters, table characters, are very important settings in Mythical Three Kingdoms. With table characters, it means that the person has already activated their talent, and table characters are also unique. Lin Mu's lack of characters means that his current talent has not been activated. I have seen your lord. Your lord is safe, the two of them said in unison. Lin Mu didn't chat with them and couldn't wait to check the attributes of his territory. You can accompany me to the back hall to check the properties of the territory, Lin Mu invited. Thank you for the invitation, Lord. Feng Zhong and Chang Yin did not refuse and followed Lin Mu into the back hall. The back hall is the most important part of the territory, and when upgraded to the city, it becomes the heart of the city, currently the center of the village. There are currently no decorations in the back hall, only a shining token floating in the air. The golden dragon-shaped aura entwined and floated, and the surface of the token was filled with countless mysterious inscriptions. Lin Mu did not know the meaning behind it, nor did he delve deeper into it. After seeing this token, Chang Yin and Feng Zhong showed a longing expression on their faces, bowing slightly as if they were very respectful of it. Lin Mu did not notice the expression on their faces when they saw this token behind them. Now Lin Mu can view the attributes of the token. Zhenlong Village, World's Second Village. A slightly famous village that increases the attraction of special refugees, but the village was built in a closed area and the effect was not good. Level. Junior Village Attributes. Special Attribute 1. Auspicious Earth Virtue, activated. The yellow dragon belongs to the earth and symbolizes auspiciousness. It is honored according to the dragon vein and needs to be born from it. The land of dragon veins, blessed with abundant spirits, can become a primary spiritual land. The territory that needs to be occupied includes the dragon veins, which have already been occupied. Huanglong Valley. This valley is a primary spiritual land. Special Attribute 2. Humanistic Glory, activated. Benefiting and nurturing the heavens, cultivating virtue together, adhering to benevolence, achieving peace in the world, and increasing overall work and training efficiency in the territory by 100%. Special Attribute 3. Humanistic Blessing, activated. ZP Sentient Beings, everyone is like a dragon. The qualification for naturalization has been increased by 1 level. Special Attribute 4. Nuwa's Pity, activated. The great goddess Nuwa hopes that people can transform it into a 9 heavenly dragon, dominating the world and gathering the energy of heaven and earth. The overall attribute of resources occupied by the territory has been increased by 100%. Current residents. 3 out of 100 popularity. 85 security. 35 tax rate. 10%, this tax rate is only levied on players within the territory who obtain resources, and is turned over as 10% of the total gain. The system will automatically calculate and turn over for players, and this tax rate is not fixed, existing resources. 500 units of grain, 500 units of stone, 500 units of wood, and 1,500 copper coins. 1 unit of grain is 1 gene, 1 unit of stone or wood is 1 cubic meter, existing buildings. Village level council hall. The place where villages are managed, where village announcements and citizenship can be issued. Primary housing. Quantity 1, provided for villagers to live in, accommodating 5 people, slightly increasing public support. Building demand. 10 units of stone, 10 units of wood, and 1 junior architect. Primary mine. Quantity 1, a place for researching, refining, and excavating mineral veins. Construction requirements. 50 units of stone, 50 units of wood, 500 copper coins, and 1 junior architect. Dragon Temple. Special building, not activated. Junior refugee camp. A special building that cannot be upgraded through consumable materials. It needs to be upgraded through special means and explored independently. Buildings that can be constructed. Junior tailor shop. Produce clothing and some equipment, slightly increase production attributes and efficiency, slightly increase public support, building demand. Junior tailor, 20 units of stone, 15 units of wood, 150 copper coins, 1 junior architect. Junior blacksmith shop. Produce and sell weapons, equipment, and agricultural tools, slightly increasing public support. Construction demand. Junior blacksmith, 30 units of stone, 20 units of wood, 200 copper coins, and 1 junior architect. Junior grocery store. Slightly increasing public support, construction demand. Junior merchant, 20 units of stone, 15 units of wood, 150 copper coins, 1 junior architect. Primary medical center. Research and sell pills, treat patients, slightly increase public support, building demand. Primary physician, 20 units of stone, 25 units of wood, 300 copper coins, 1 junior architect. Primary market. A platform for villagers or players to trade resources with each other, and can also trade across villages. The primary market can trade within the county, slightly increasing public support. Construction demand. 25 units of stone, 35 units of wood, 500 copper coins, and 5 junior architects. Primary logging yard. Making wooden tools and producing wood, slightly increasing public support. Construction demand. Primary logging carpenter, 20 units of stone, 15 units of wood, 100 copper coins, 1 junior architect. Junior dockyard. Research and manufacture ships, junior boatman, slightly increase public support, construction demand. 20 units of stone, 15 units of wood, 100 copper coins, and 3 junior architects. Junior barracks. Recruiting and training soldiers. Soldiers who meet the conditions can be transferred here to become generals, with a slight increase in security. Construction requirements. 50 units of stone, 50 units of wood, 500 copper coins, and 5 junior architects. Primary fishing ground. A place for cultivating, breeding, and managing territorial fisheries. Construction requirements. 50 units of stone, 50 units of wood, 500 copper coins, and 3 junior architects. Village area. 1 square kilometer, 1,000 by 1,000, territory area. Unrestricted, the regular territory is a village with an area of 10 square kilometers, which was established under the God-level village building order and has no territorial scope restrictions. Divine City Heart. Durability. 100W/100W, force to 1 point per attack. Upgrade the village to intermediate demand resources. 5,000 units of grain, 5,000 units of stone, 5,000 units of wood, 100,000 copper coins, 8 types of basic buildings, and the number of villagers should reach or exceed 100. It's different from what Lin Mu imagined in his heart, but it's even more impressive than his expectations. The divine level is truly divine. The expectations in Lin Mu's heart were also greatly satisfied. Unexpectedly, they were even stronger than expected. What are the heavenly and earthly levels? With this foundation, the future is really a smooth road. Lin Mu suddenly felt very tall, as if invisibly pretending to succeed. No, it's important to be low-key, to quietly enter the village, and not to shoot. The village building order is divided from high to low into divine level, heavenly level, earthly level, mystical level, and yellow level. After the establishment of the Huangjie village order, there will be 4 territory attributes for players to choose from, but the attributes are not very good, and there are rarely top-quality attributes, and only 1 territory attribute can be selected. After the Huangjie village building order establishes a village, there will be 5 territory attributes for players to choose from, which are no less than those of the Huangjie. However, there are no rare territory attributes, and players can choose from 2. The land-level village building order is considered advanced. After establishing a village, there will be 6 territory attributes available for players to choose from, and there is a high chance of rare territory attributes appearing, such as what Lin Mu knows. Increase the overall production efficiency of the territory by 30%, UU reading www.uukangshu.net, or increase the special product of the territory. Mysterious machine crossbow car, etc. Among them, the most enviable one by Lin Mu is, increase the special product of the territory. Mysterious machine crossbow car, which actually has the property of special product production. Lin Mu remembers causing a great sensation at that time. The player who used the land-level village building order was eventually forced to sell the territory, but the wealth in it made him spend his life on it. Worry-free clothing and food. Lin Mu didn't know how the player ended up, but the village was very famous, and many player factions came here to buy expensive mysterious crossbows to enhance their army's strength. You can choose to leave 3 territorial attributes for the level. The last type of village building order, Tianjia, Lin Mu did not see the specific territorial attributes. This is because these village building orders are all monopolized by major forces, and no specific news has been heard from players. It is only that some players have unintentionally sighed on the Battle Network forum, and Lin Mu only knows a little bit about the tip of the iceberg, but it is also very powerful. Lin Mu didn't know the power of the Tianjia village building order, but he knew the attributes of the divine level. Even after thinking about it, he wouldn't be any more powerful than himself. Lin Mu's divine level village building order does not have a choice of territory attributes, but it has been fixed. As a junior spiritual land, Lin Mu knows the mysteries of it and has never owned it in his previous life. However, it should be similar to the top 10 caves and 70.2 blessed areas. Lin Mu is looking forward to the effect of this attribute. Humanistic blessing. This attribute is really amazing. Lin Mu believes that this attribute is the best and most helpful for the development of the territory, because it enhances the qualification of the people in the territory by 1 level, so its potential is raised by a whole level, which is very scary. The other 2 attributes, needless to say, the later effects make the territory develop rapidly, and make the resources, soldier training, generals breakthrough, food and other aspects of the Lin Mu territory worry-free. Chapter 7. Fate Merchant. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After seeing the attributes of the territory, Lin Mu had a clear idea and arranged for Chang Ying to manage the refugees and reorganized the overall situation. Feng Zhong first inspected the surrounding areas of the territory. The village-level territory only had simple, low defense, and low durability fences. If there were fierce beasts attacking, there would be basically no good defense measures, and now there are basically no soldiers, and public security is very poor. In addition, the village established by the God-level village building order, Huanglong order, is often confused by Lin Mu, and many previous experiences may not be useful. The territory is located in this enclosed wilderness, and there must be many wild beasts attacking the village, so we cannot ignore them. In the past life, many players built their territories in the wilderness, which led to many fierce beasts ravaging the territories, causing people to be unable to work with peace of mind and soldiers to be killed completely. It was very tragic. Lin Mu knew of such a tragedy and had to take precautions not to encounter it in his own territory. Like a divine general guarding Huanglong, Lin Mu was also very reassured. Although at this time, Huanglong only had the strength of a junior general, he was still relatively stable. After arranging everything, Lin Mu arrived at a building in another territory. After the successful use of the divine village building order, Huanglong order, 5 types of buildings appeared in the territory. One was the village council hall, one was a residential building, one was a junior mining site, one was a junior refugee camp, and finally, the place where Lin Mu is currently located. The Dragon Temple. The primary mining site should be an additional product of the system's reward for special or veins. In Lin Mu's speculation, this Dragon Temple should be a special product of the successful use of the divine level village building order, Yellow Dragon Order. Otherwise, with Lin Mu's many years of experience, he would have never heard of it. Lin Mu also knew that he was really ignorant and reminded himself not to be arrogant and complacent, and to act cautiously. Lin Mu looked at the Dragon Temple and was extremely shocked. The building occupied a small area of about half an acre, but the door panel on one side of the gate of the Dragon Temple was about 1 meter larger than the ordinary gate, and the overall height was about 4 meters. The door is large, but also very exquisite. It is carved with many dragons, some ferocious and fierce, some soaring in the clouds and mist, mysterious and mysterious, some soaring like 9 heavens, dominating the world, some sleeping, but also very majestic and auspicious. There are various forms to choose from. The door beams are also finely carved, with auspicious beasts in sight, and Lin Mu's eyes are dazzling. The most surprising thing is that the high roof of the Dragon Temple cannot be seen above, surrounded by countless yellow clouds, mysterious and extraordinary, as if there are towering beasts living there, which is chilling. Lin Mu looked up and felt as if he could hear the roaring dragon in the sky, echoing in his ears. It was as if his soul could also hear its voice, and his heart was deeply shaken. In his past life, Lin Mu never saw such a scene in Luoyang, the capital of gods. The Dragon Temple gives Lin Mu an overall feeling of luxury, auspiciousness, and mystery, while the atmosphere is very solemn and majestic, as if a giant beast is occupying it. Lin Mu slightly restrained his expression. No matter how mysterious it was, if it appeared in his own territory, it would be mine. I had some time to explore the mysteries, Lin Mu thought to himself. Pushing open the door, there was a clanging sound echoing through it. Lin Mu stepped inside, fearless and filled with anticipation. The 2 rows of yellow wood seats that came into view were neatly arranged. In the center of the front was a sacrificial altar, filled with mahogany signs. The rows were arranged in a neat and orderly manner, with some fonts written on the mahogany signs. However, Lin Mu couldn't see what was written on them clearly, as if the current Lin Mu was not qualified to admire the mysteries, and Lin Mu didn't take it seriously. What surprised Lin Mu the most was that there was a person sitting safely at the bottom of the right row of seats. In such a solemn place, the person who appeared must be extraordinary. Lin Mu glanced at the surrounding environment for a moment and immediately walked towards that person. The person saw Lin Mu walking and stood up to greet him. Lin Mu bowed slightly and politely spoke first, "I am Xia Lin Mu, the lord of this village. May I ask who the expert is?" Hello lord. I'm just a small businessman and I can't afford to be called that. Lord, please call me 9527 or Yuan. At 9527, Lin Mu murmured that he might as well call you Tong Pak Fu. Lin Mu remembered the classic movie he had seen long ago. System prompt. Lord Lin Mu, congratulations on being the first person in the world to meet the Destiny Merchant, Hong Fu Chi Tian. Reward 10,000 reputation points and activate the Destiny Merchant's trading privileges. Surprisingly, he is a merchant of fate. Destiny merchants, as the name suggests, are merchants who appear like fate. They are very special merchants in the world who buy and sell everything, as long as they meet certain conditions. Surprisingly rewarded with 10,000 reputation. Surprisingly, I established the second village in the world, and the reward was only a meager 200 reputation. Now it has increased by 50 times. I feel so sad in my heart, and Lin Mu's face shows joy. It seems that this hidden achievement is very precious to players, just like fate. Lin Mu has also seen the Destiny Merchant in his past life, but I don't know how many people are behind him. Of course, he didn't receive such a reward. Thinking back, he missed out on many things in the past, but he will make up for it in his lifetime. Fate merchant Yuan Ji saw that Lin Mu suddenly had a smiling face, which was somewhat strange. Excuse me, are you a legendary merchant of fate? Although he heard the system prompt, Lin Mu still asked the person in front of him more often, which can be considered as a way to chat and build friendship. Oh, Lord, have you heard of us? Destiny merchant Yuan Ji was also surprised. After all, his group of people were special merchants. It was only after the great goddess of Enyu opened this world that he ordered us to descend to the divine realm. It was even later than the arrival of strangers. This Lord already knew about us, and he was truly extraordinary. Moreover, this person was able to obtain such a divine object as the Yellow Dragon Token, which is truly an achievement beyond ordinary people. With extraordinary potential and knowledge, it seems that we will rely more on this person in the future, Yuan Ji thought to himself. Yuan Ji also smiled and praised, I didn't expect Lord to have such extensive knowledge. He was rich in chariots, with great fortune and strategic prowess. He was brave and extraordinary, and wise and divine. Flowers bloom, cars ride, he is charming and charming, a friend of women, a friend of wives. After a few minutes of rambling, he talked endlessly, even flattering himself into a divine being. Countless praises went out of his mouth. Lin Mu's face was full of black lines, and those behind him were full of tears. They were more and more outrageous. They were so excellent. I really wanted to complain about your integrity and your immortal aura in front of me. It's not really Yuan Ji's fault, after all, Lin Mu had this adventure. Shortly after the opening of Mythology of the Three Kingdoms, he received the divine artifact, Yellow Dragon Order. In Yuan Ji's eyes, he was a strange person, and he knew his own details. He was just a merchant under the sage's command, and he needed Lin Mu's support in the future. The more extraordinary Lin Mu's ability, the more outstanding his performance would be, and the more rewards he would receive from the great god of Enyu. No matter what Yuan Ji thought, in Lin Mu's eyes, a group of high-ranking people like fate merchants were so ingratiating with him and flattering him countless times. Lin Mu couldn't help but laugh and cry. In his past life, when Lin Mu met the Destiny Merchant, he was just a mediocre general. Later, he became the head of a county. In the land of China, there were countless talented and extraordinary people who could not make it to the table. In the eyes of players, these esteemed Destiny merchants were mostly arrogant and aloof. However, even if they were arrogant, they were meticulous and conscientious in their business. Destiny merchants are a very special type of merchant who sell everything, even if they have artifacts. However, the currency they use for trading is incredibly miraculous, and it turns out to be prestige and the luck of the feudal lords, not yellow and white items such as gold and silver coins. Forcing high-end, grand and upscale players, even if they are cheap, countless players flatter them for artifacts and other things. Of course, Lin Mu is also one of them. For artifacts and other things, losing one's integrity is nothing. Lin Mu remembered the comparison between the past and the present, and smiled bitterly, Your Excellency, there's no need to do this. If you call me Lord, then I'll call you Yuanji. You don't have to be so polite. Okay, I'll just work under the Lord's command in the future. Yuanji was also very polite to this lord, and for a long time to come, this person can get along well and calmly, which is also very beneficial for his own work. Do you have anything to sell now, Yuanji? Do you have any artifacts? Lin Mu immediately entered the theme with a single sword. Hehe, I am currently in the junior merchant stage and do not have the right to sell artifacts. However, as long as the Lord's territory develops rapidly and my trading quota increases, I will also upgrade. When I reach a higher level, I will have the authority to sell artifacts. I hope the Lord can take care of my business more. Yuanji explained with a bitter smile, and asked if there were any artifacts. I really don't know how to answer. I'm just joking too. Lin Mu was too excited, forgetting that fate merchants also have hierarchy, and smiled slightly. Destiny merchants also have levels, from high to low. Yu reading www.yuyukangshu.net is the 4th level of the world's mysterious yellow, and even higher level forest herdsmen have not heard of it. From above the ground level, there have been artifacts being sold, but even as the county chief in his past life, he did not have enough monetary prestige to purchase them, indicating the difficulty of purchasing them. Lin Mu and Yuan Jihan chatted as they opened the trading panel, which, as guessed, had 5 options. Lifespan, weapons, equipment, props, supplies, and others. The props and supplies are both very complex, with many things inside that even Lin Mu cannot remember. For the first option, Lin Mu couldn't forget it as soon as he saw it, and he couldn't forget it for a lifetime. Life expectancy is the ultimate goal that all players strive to pursue. All levels of Destiny merchants have this display. Lifespan, 1 yuan of chi can be exchanged for 100 years of lifespan * soul, which can be stacked. Need to have a wealth of energy, if the energy is exhausted, it cannot be exchanged. 1 dragon national luck can be exchanged for 1 year of lifespan * soul, which can be stacked, requires a wealth of chi, if chi is exhausted, it cannot be exchanged. The ones with souls at the end all indicate that they can be used in the real world, that is, if they are exchanged for 100 years of lifespan in the game, the real world can also obtain 100 years of lifespan, making countless people crazy. It's really crazy. When players exposed this information, countless people rushed into the game, crazily leveling up and investing. Many big corporations, businessmen, politicians, national elites, social elites, and other characters had already received secret information and continuously invested in The Legend of Three Kingdoms. The development of The Legend of Three Kingdoms also flourished. Mythical Three Kingdoms has also become a huge profit field. The prosperity of the world is all for profit, and the bustling of the world is all for profit. Chapter 8. Real Life, Ultimate Temptation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. How many people can resist the temptation of increasing lifespan? In just over 100 years, even with the advancement of technology in the real world and the increase in lifespan to 150 years old, many people's concern about their lifespan is extremely crazy. It is a luxury to live an extra day. Now this magical game can actually achieve lifespan, and many props, equipment, and so on in the game can act on the real body, bringing excitement, like the surging waves of the vast sea, impacting the deepest weakness of the human heart. Collecting reputation, competing for the fortune of feudal lords, founding a country and establishing a dynasty, and practicing to seize the fortune, all of these deeply attract people. Controversy. Controversy. Countless players competing, brutal wars, brutal struggles, various open and secret struggles, intrigues, and deceit. All can imagine the immense cruelty behind them. Crazy return to madness, the cruelty of reality still needs to be faced, and countries around the world are vigorously controlling the madness of their people, step by step announcing the secrets they know about the mythical world, and the situation of the people is gradually being controlled. However, the craziness in the gaming world is difficult to control, and many players are frantically completing tasks and going to the battlefield like a desperate samurai, causing countless casualties that are very difficult to control. This is also one of the reasons why Lin Mu does not want players to be the main players in the development of his territory. In the current real world, many ordinary people do not know the secrets behind it, only some wealthy and powerful individuals know it. Some middle-level people also have some vague knowledge, but it also aroused their high attention and immediately withdrew from other virtual games, leading to the dominance of the virtual game market on Earth. Lin Mu only knew some secrets in his past life, and perhaps there were many secrets that high-level officials had not disclosed, which made his heart heavy. Anyway, with a cheat-like start, leading countless players, only by taking the lead step by step, don't make too many principled mistakes, and there won't be too many problems. Lin Mu's heart is also extremely eager for an increase in lifespan. In addition to lifespan, rights, and rare treasures, they are also the direction of pursuit. Death, if unavoidable, can only be faced calmly. If there is a tiny bit of hope, it will be infinitely magnified and extremely eager. This is human nature, regardless of right or wrong. When Lin Mu learned this news, his heart was also very shocked, as if a fierce tiger had jumped out of his heart, unable to speak. Judging from oneself, one can imagine the madness of others. Awakening to the power of the world, lying drunk on the knees of beauty. Who doesn't want, who doesn't ask? Of course, Lin Mu will not disclose this information on the war website. If the country's layout is interrupted and exposed, the consequences will be very serious. After all, although many of the country's practices cannot be fully humane, cannot let everyone know, and cannot satisfy everyone, many of their actions are noble and have a huge impact on the overall stability of society. They are responsible to the entire public. Perhaps many people vigorously promote so-called human rights and morality, the right to personal freedom, the right to information, and so on, which are all nonsense. If we lose a stable environment, talk about human rights and humanity. When you talk about humanity with people from war-torn countries, you can't even eat enough and your life is not guaranteed. The so-called human rights are like floating clouds. Lin Mu is not a saint and cannot make earth-shattering moves, and this does not conform to a low-key style of handling things. The existence of a country has its reasons, and many things should be left to the country to do. Lin Mu is still hiding among the market to see the whole situation, taking advantage of the situation, in order to obtain the maximum harvest in the game. Now Lin Mu can treat it calmly. After all, it's still early, still early. Lin Mu thought to himself. Now there are destiny merchants in his own territory, and the development potential of his territory has increased. Lin Mu cannot explain the mysteries behind it, so he can only do his best to use and explore them. Yuan Ji, are you permanent in my territory or will you be transferred to other territories? Lin Mu thought for a moment and asked a key question. I am a permanent resident of Lord, and I will settle down in Lord's territory in the future. I hope Lord can arrange accommodation for me, and I hope Lord will not blame me for my rudeness. Fate merchants are unpredictable. In my past life, I have not met them many times, but now Yuan Ji, this fate merchant, is actually a permanent resident. It is very useful for me to exchange items in the future, and I don't need to spend time searching for them. Moreover, upon hearing that Yuan Jichang was stationed, Lin Mu had a very promising idea in his heart, but it could not be realized for the time being. Okay, you will settle down here in the future. I will command my servants to serve you, but now that the territory has just been established, many conditions are very difficult and simple. I hope you can bear it. Lin Mu felt relieved. It's okay, I am satisfied to receive the favor of the Lord. Yuan Ji expressed gratitude. Okay. Now that I have a reputation of 10,200, how many destiny coins can I exchange? Can you introduce your group to me, and do you have specific rules? Lin Mu asked. Although Lin Mu can recite some transaction rules about destiny merchants, what if there are other rules he doesn't know? Humbly seeking advice, being humble and polite, this is the attitude of being a good person. Lord, as you are the first to meet us, the Destiny Merchants, you can obtain relevant information. Our Destiny Merchants are divided into 6 levels from low to high. Yellow level, Xian level, Earth level, Heaven level, God level, and Holy level. The higher the level, the higher the permission to sell items, which means the upper limit of the items will be higher. Currently, the lower level is Yellow level, and selling items is limited. The artifacts that Lord wants need to be upgraded to Earth level in order to have partial permission to purchase. In addition, some of our merchants are wandering type Destiny Merchants, and their location is not specified. Wherever there is business, they go there, which is unpredictable. Some of them are positioning services like ours, targeting lords or knights with deep potential in their territories. As adults, Hongfu Qitian, I have the opportunity to provide positioning services for lords. There are 3 types of currency used by our Destiny Merchants, with values ranging from low to high. Destiny Gold Coin, Qi Luck Gold Coin, and Qi Number Gold Coin. Destiny Gold Coin is exchanged for reputation, with one value being 1, which means 1 reputation point can be exchanged for 1 Destiny Gold Coin, while Qi Luck Gold Coin is exchanged for 1 Qi Luck Gold Coin, which means 1 Qi Number Gold Coin can be exchanged for 1 Qi Number Gold Coin. Lord's reputation of 10,200 points can be exchanged for 10,200 Fate Gold Coins. Yuan Ji explained in detail to Lin Mu, but Lin Mu could tell that in some places, Yuan Ji may have reservations when speaking, and Lin Mu did not take it seriously. When Lin Mu heard the currency of fate, a pleasant reminder sounded in his ear. Ding! System prompt, congratulations to player Lin Mu. You have unexpectedly successfully activated the Qi system. As you are the first in the world to activate the Qi system, you will receive a reward of 10,000 reputation points. You can click on its attributes to view its details. Oh, Lord, your reputation has increased again. It seems that Lord has a tremendous fortune and a profound source of blessings. Yuan Ji saw that Lin Mu's reputation had increased slightly and was slightly aware of what had happened. Yes, the goddess Nuwa activated the Qi number system for me. As the first alien to activate it, I was rewarded with 10,000 reputation points. Thank you very much for providing me with such a detailed explanation. Lin Mu really needs to thank Yuan Ji. The opening of this Qi number system was very erratic, without a specific strategy. In his previous life, Lin Mu also unintentionally opened it. He wanted to open it like in his previous life, but now he accidentally completed it. He really had no intention of inserting willows into the shade. Moreover, Lin Mu did not conceal it. It is said that the Destiny Merchant knows a lot of the truth about this world, but he will not easily reveal it. Lin Mu befriended Yuan Ji and made good friends, hoping to obtain secrets he did not know from him. When Yuan Ji introduced him, he was also very careful to avoid some secrets. Lin Mu could also hear it, so he didn't explain it for the time being. After all, we are all meeting for the first time, and there will be a lot of time in the future. Let's take our time to overcome it. Now Lord, you can exchange 20,200 Fate Gold Coins. Do you need to exchange them? However, due to rule restrictions, Lord currently needs to pay a handling fee of 5% to exchange Fate Gold Coins. If Lord Lin Mu exchanges 20200 reputation, he will get 19,190 Fate Gold Coins. I hope Lord doesn't mind. Yuan Ji smiled helplessly. The rule for paying handling fees was set by the goddess Nuwa. How did he change it as an ant? Lin Mu is still familiar with this exchange rule, with a 5% transaction fee. I'm not sure if it's expensive or cheap. Lin Mu has had little contact and is not aware of the situation. As for Yuan Ji's suggestion, he doesn't mind. If you exchange 19,190 destiny coins, you only have 19,190. What do you have to sell here? Show it. Huh, Lord, you are really impressive. At the beginning of the game, the reputation at 20,200 can be said to be very rich. Lin Mu also knows the difficulty of obtaining reputation, but he has a way, not stingy at all. With a big wave of his hand, he changed everything. At the same time, a blue product panel screen appeared in front of Lin Mu, just like in his previous life, extremely unfamiliar but impressive. Lifespan, weapons, equipment, props, supplies, lifespan option. Lin Mu ignored the past. Now is not the time to talk about this. His wealth is like a drop in the ocean. Given the current situation and conditions of forestry and animal husbandry, it is best to choose architectural drawings. Lin Mu clicked on the prop option, regardless of other options, to expand a very detailed panel. Illustrated books, drawings, are densely packed with a variety of options. Lin Mu entered architectural drawings in the search bar of the panel, and the panel immediately displayed the owned architectural drawings. Junior Tailor Shop Building Drawing, 10. Exchange requires 100 fate coins. Junior Blacksmith Shop Building Drawing, 10. Exchange requires 100 fate gold coins. Junior Carpenter Shop Building Drawing, 10. Exchange requires 100 fate gold coins. Junior Dockyard Building Drawing, 10. Exchange requires 100 fate coins. Junior Dock Shop Building Drawing, 10. Exchange requires 100 fate coins. Junior Residential Building Blueprint, 100. Exchange requires 50 Destiny coins. Architectural drawings for primary refugee camps, 4. Exchange requires 1000 fate coins. Junior Private School Building Drawing, 1. Exchange requires 2000 fate gold coins. Junior Refugee Camp Building Blueprint, 3. Exchange requires 2000 fate coins. Intermediate Tailor Shop Building Drawing, 5. Exchange requires 1000 fate coins. Intermediate Blacksmith Shop Building Drawing, 5. Exchange requires 1000 fate gold coins. Intermediate Refugee Camp Building Drawing, 1. Exchange requires 3000 fate coins. Intermediate Refugee Camp Building Blueprint, 1. Exchange requires 5000 fate coins. Advanced Tailor Shop Building Drawing, 2. Exchange requires 10,000 fate coins. Advanced Blacksmith Shop Building Drawing, 2. Exchange requires 10,000 fate gold coins. Expert Level Blacksmith Shop Building Blueprint, 0. Exchange requires 100,000 fate coins. Master Level Blacksmith Shop Building Blueprint, 0. Exchange requires 500,000 fate coins. Master Level Blacksmith Shop Building Blueprint, 0. Exchange requires 1 million fate coins. The number in brackets is the quantity. UU reads www.uukangshu.net, and the later exchange requirement is how many gold coins of destiny each piece needs. Lin Mu, as a veteran, knows this. Chapter 9. Preliminary Development of Territory. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Countless drawings, Lin Mu looked at them in a daze. However, upon examining the money in his pocket, which contained 19,190 fate coins, there were very few. He could only reluctantly abandon those drawings that left him lingering and unforgettable. When faced with multiple choice questions, Lin Mu has his own experience. First, choose the most lacking, then the best, then the most desired, and then the most promising according to his own selection rules. Lin Mu quickly made a decision. Select to refresh the drawing of the population. After calculating, I spent 6,000 on buying 3 primary refugee camp building blueprints, 4,000 on buying 4 primary refugee camp building blueprints, 3,000 on buying 1 intermediate refugee camp building blueprint, and 5,000 on buying 1 intermediate refugee camp building blueprint. The total cost was 18,000 fate coins, with 1190 remaining. Unfortunately, there were no more primary refugee camp blueprints, otherwise I could still buy one with the remaining money. I bought these blueprints because of population issues. Currently, the territory has been preliminarily established, and the system is giving away a junior refugee camp. The number of refugees scanned every day is about 10, which completely cannot meet the development needs of the territory. Now with these blueprints, the population growth of the territory will greatly increase. Now the territory can establish 4 refugee camps, one of which can be upgraded to an intermediate refugee camp due to the intermediate blueprint, and its refreshed refugee population is 50 people per day. There are 3 primary refugee camps and 1 intermediate refugee camp, with a total of 80 people refreshed every day. In addition, 4 primary refugee camps can be established, one of which can be upgraded to an intermediate refugee camp. The primary refugee camp can refresh 10 people per day, while the intermediate refugee camp can refresh 50 people per day. This way, the refugee camp can refresh a total of 80 people. In this way, a total of 160 people are refreshed every day, which is very high and can be compared to the refreshing ability of one's previous town-level territory. The refresh rates for refugees and refugees are the same, but their qualifications and the probability of special NPCs appearing are different. To put it simply, refugee camps refer to some people who have no choice but to be displaced, while refugee camps are the places where the lower-class people have the most farmers. The qualifications of refugees are generally higher, and the probability of NPC with specialties or talents is higher. For example, the NPC qualification that appears is generally level 3, while refugees are lower, and they appear at level 2 or level 1. There are also many fewer NPCs with other specialties or talents. However, if you are a farmer in your territory, the probability of refugee farmers appearing is still high, which is very helpful for land reclamation. Forestry and animal husbandry also urgently need farmers to start farming. The probability of NPCs with level 6 or 7 qualifications appearing in refugee camps is much higher than that in refugee camps, but there are opportunities. It's just a matter of luck. Maybe one day, when NPCs with level 7 qualifications appear in refugee camps but not in refugee camps, these are unpredictable. Probability has always been revered by Lin Mu. I believe that with the bonus of territorial god-level attributes, one level of qualification is generally improved, refreshed, and the potential is even higher. It is very impressive, really impressive. Even Lin Mu can only describe it with an indescribable smile. There were still 1190 gold coins left, and Lin Mu thought for a moment. First, he bought a junior blacksmith shop, a junior tailor shop, a junior shipyard, a junior carpentry workshop, a junior dock, a junior mining field, a junior logging field, a junior fishing field, and 3 drawings of a junior residential building that could accommodate 5 people. This consumed the remaining 90 fake gold coins, and the money came and went quickly. Finally, these 90 coins, Lin Mu didn't want to keep them in his pocket anymore. In exchange for the copper coins of the Han dynasty, there were a total of 9,000 coins, which is 90 silver coins. The exchange rate is 1 destiny gold coin equals 1 silver coin. In fact, it is very cost-effective to exchange fate coins for copper, silver, and gold coins of the Han dynasty. For example, in that junior tailor shop, fate merchants need 100 fate coins to sell here. However, if it is a player transaction or a purchase from the government, at most a few tens of silver coins are already very expensive. However, Lin Mu's own territory is located in this wilderness and cannot be accessed. For now, there is no need to think about going out, and there is no need to think about transactions with the government. However, with these things in mind, I believe that the development of the territory is advancing rapidly and uncontrollably. Lin Mu thinks the cost is still quite worthwhile. The architecture of the territory in the setting of Mythical Three Kingdoms is very magical and slightly based on reality. Players have building blueprints in their hands, and as long as resources are sufficient, they can complete the construction in an instant. For example, Lin Mu now has blueprints for a junior blacksmith shop. The initial resources of the territory include 500 units of grain, 500 units of stone, 500 units of wood, and 10,500 copper coins. The cost of building a junior blacksmith shop is 30 units of stone, 20 units of wood, and 200 copper coins. By using construction blueprints in this way and consuming resources, the junior blacksmith shop can instantly rise from the ground, which is incredibly magical. Of course, it falls into the eyes of other players, which is also a common occurrence in the game. Lin Mu is not surprised by this. If there are no architectural drawings, in order to build such a building, one needs to have the profession of an architect. Architects can build basic buildings on their territory without the need for blueprints. As the level of an architect increases, their knowledge of architecture also increases, and more buildings can be built, becoming stronger and more advanced. In addition, architects are also an important profession in managing water conservancy, and their branch, Water Conservancy Supervisor, is a very prestigious profession. In the future, the construction and development of the territory will become faster and larger, and there will definitely be more architects needed, with higher requirements. Lin Mu also attaches great importance to this profession in the plan. When he has time to communicate with Chang Yin about the miscellaneous affairs of the territory, he will mention it, which will make Chang Yin pay more attention when managing the territory. After all, Lin Mu currently does not manage the territory much, and has Chang Yin as a gift from this system. The profession of architect was once said to be a bricklayer in ancient times, but the mythological three kingdoms combined reality and changed its title and professional characteristics. There are still many professions like this in mythical three kingdoms. Lin Mu basically knows that common ones include blacksmiths, tailors, lumberjacks, miners, architects, engravers, worshippers, sailors, teachers, groomers, animal trainers, alchemists, physicians, pharmacists, farmers, hunters, butchers, cartographers. There are other relatively rare ones, such as mechanism masters, geomancy masters, sword minters, etc. Lin Mu is not very clear and does not know if he will encounter them. Players can also work in such professions either as a deputy or as a main profession. They can transfer to private schools or schools in county or county towns, and the number is not limited. It doesn't matter how many professions you want to transfer to, as long as you have the energy and stamina to upgrade. Lin Mu's requirement for himself is to hold the main position as a general, and the deputy position can be chosen as an alchemist, but it is also possible to make corresponding changes in the future. After spending the fate coins, Lin Mu left the Dragon Temple with Yuan Ji and returned to the village council hall. After all, Yuan Ji cannot stay in the Dragon Temple for a long time. Compared to Lin Mu's haste, Yuan Ji is now leisurely. Returning to the village council hall, I found Chang Yin, who was naturalizing the newly refreshed refugees in the village. Lin Mu counted them carefully, and there were 11 people, which is good. Now there are 15 people in the territory, which is in the double digits, which can be considered a breakthrough. Lin Mu said to Chang Yin, Yuan Jian, the character of Chang Yin, usually referred to by people who are close to him as a sign of importance, please place Yuan Ji in the side room of the village council hall to rest later. By the way, this is Yuan Ji, a special merchant in our territory who is very helpful to our village. Lin Mu also slightly mentioned that with Chang Yin's intelligence, it is very easy to understand and know that he will win over this businessman named Yuan Ji. Okay, no problem. Chang Yin looked up and replied. Chang Yin did not ask whether Yuan Ji had been naturalized. On the way back, Lin Mu also asked Yuan Ji if he could become a citizen of Huanglong City, but the answer he received was no, they were unable to become citizens. Lin Mu was also a bit disappointed. If he were to become a citizen, he would be able to view all of his attributes and analyze things from them, but it was not forced. Naturalization is a very important setting in Mythical Three Kingdoms. Naturalized players or indigenous NPC lords have the right to view their attributes, because the probability of dropping skills such as exploration is relatively low in Mythical Three Kingdoms. Many players have not learned such skills and can only stare blankly. Many character information cannot be obtained. If it is a special item, it still needs to be identified, and players cannot view it. So naturalization becomes very important, as you can view its attributes. However, not all attributes can be viewed. For example, if this person is a spy, how can Lin Mu detect them? This kind of thing cannot be distinguished and has its flaws. However, naturalization is very important for many players. For the management system of naturalization, there are different treatments between players and indigenous NPCs. Indigenous NPCs can have a great deal of freedom without any restrictions once they become registered. For example, if an NPC becomes registered, Yuyukanshu www.yuyukanshu.net is not good for them. They can withdraw their registration without any punishment from the system. Of course, if players pursue responsibility, assassinating them is another matter. If a player becomes naturalized, the intangible resources such as reputation, achievements, and titles they receive during this period will be subject to significant penalties as the player withdraws, but it is not completely zero. The punishment is significant and depends on the specific player's situation. When Lin Mu escaped from a large guild, he also received significant punishment from the system because of his strong strength, equipment, and high reputation in the guild. As soon as he left the guild, he basically became a white body, and the punishment was very severe. Lin Mu remembered the past for a moment, but it was nothing. Now that he is so talented, he doesn't need those things anymore. He will have better pursuits. Putting down his thoughts, Lin Mu continued to deal with the basic territorial affairs. After all, he was very busy now. Many of the plans in his memory could not be carried out with the low strength. Now he is a busy little bee. Lin Mu used both the blueprint of the refugee camp and the map paper of the refugee camp. Immediately, 8 buildings rose up in the village, and the primary refugee camp gifted by the system was established in the village and was not considered a territorial building in principle. However, after Lin Mu upgraded the intermediate refugee camp, the gifted camp became a territorial building and needed to be maintained and managed by himself. 3 primary refugee camps, 1 intermediate refugee camp, 3 primary refugee camps, and 1 intermediate refugee camp are the current sources of population in the Lin Mu territory, with an increase of 160 people every day. This is considered a considerable amount, and there is no fear of not being able to afford it. Although the Lin Mu territory does not have the convenience of a government system, there are also many resources in the wild, such as the meat and fruits of wild animals, and the fishing products in the Huanglong River in Huanglong Valley. Grain will definitely not be lacking like other players. Chapter 10. Special Mineral Veins, Setting Sail from the Territory. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Lin Mu established refugee and refugee camps, the system prompted again, but this time it was bad news. Ding. System prompt. Lord Lin Mu, due to your construction of refugee and refugee camps, your territory's public opinion has decreased by 60%, and public security has decreased by 60%. Please pay attention. If the territory's public security or public opinion remains at 0 for a long time, there may be irreparable special situations. Please pay attention. Lin Mu was not too surprised when he heard the system prompt. He already knew that there would be such a situation. After all, refugee camps and refugee camps are both chaotic and dirty places. When refugees are refreshed inside, if they are not dealt with properly in a timely manner, the people inside may damage the village. And now, in the entire village, only Changyin and Fengzhong are the people who can use Lin Mu, and their management is temporarily limited to Lin Mu or Changyin and Fengzhong. Currently, Changyin is busy arranging the affairs of refugees, and only Fengzhong and Lin Mu are handling the order of the refugee camp. After the construction and upgrading of the refugee and refugee camps were completed, some refugees were immediately refreshed inside. In several quiet and spacious camps, the sound of noise rang out. Lin Mu and Fengzhong each walked into a refugee camp and comforted these people. The newly established village was in great need of these people to build. Now, due to the lack of chefs, it is not possible to make meals, so we have not given these hungry refugees a hot meal to eat. We can only use words to appease. As an experienced lord, the best way to handle the newly refreshed refugees in the territory is to place a row of dining tables in front of the camp, and wait for them to refresh. A hot meal and hot water is the best way to soothe them. The public opinion and security of the territory will gradually improve. Lin Mu, Huanglong, and Chang Yin will manage the affairs of the territory. Soon, the public opinion and security of the territory will change as follows. The public opinion is 48 and the public security is 30, which is considered very low. The efficiency of leading the people's work also changes with the changes in public opinion and public security. The public opinion is 48, and the overall work efficiency is 48%. Currently, the efficiency is low, preferably above 90, but that is just ideal. Refugees who come out of refugee camps are generally yellow-skinned, dressed in rags, mostly criminals or very destitute people, as well as some refugees. However, those who come out of refugee camps have a better mental outlook than refugees, but not much better. In terms of clothing and accessories, they may be better. At the same time, some refugees may still hold delicate baggage in their hands after refreshing, and even carry their families. The refugees are generally homeless people such as city farmers and businessmen, and the probability of special talents appearing is relatively high. It is possible that a destitute royal family and aristocrat may emerge from them. In his past life, Lin Mu knew that there were such examples, and that the destitute royal family and aristocrat also had special skills. It was really like finding gold in the soil. As soon as the campsite was established, Lin Mu called on Huanglong, who was patrolling and leisurely, to handle the order together. At the same time, they also distributed the food and food gifted by the system to refugees in the village council hall, hoping that they would not starve to death as soon as they appeared in their own territory, causing unpredictable consequences. There is not much food in the territory. After arranging these 149 refugees, plus the 11 people who have already been naturalized by Chang Yin, the population of the territory has now exceeded 163 people. The food supply cannot last long, so some people need to be arranged to pick wild fruits. In addition, Huanglong will take some strong people to hunt and collect some meat. Speaking of meat, here we need to mention an important setting in Mythical World, which is the unit of the item. In Mythical World, all material resources are generally referred to in units, such as grain, 1 unit of grain, such as stone, 1 unit of stone. This unit is just a general term and not a unified value, with different meanings. 1 unit of grain generally represents 1 gene, for example, 1 unit of rice is 1 gene of rice, 1 unit of stone is 1 cubic meter of stone, 1 unit of wood is 1 cubic meter of wood, and 1 unit of iron ore is 1 gene of iron ore. In addition, the copper coins, silver coins, and gold coins mentioned earlier are also unified, with an exchange rate of 1 gold coin equals 100 silver coins equals 10,000 copper coins. It took a lot of effort to dispose of the refreshed population today, arranging for some people to use tools for logging, some people to pick wild fruits, Huanglong to take people to hunt, and some people to work in the primary shipyards and fishing grounds built by forestry and animal husbandry, hoping to produce and manufacture fishing boats to fish in the river for food. For the population of over 100 people in the territory, Lin Mu Chang Yin handled it with ease and high efficiency. Lin Mu couldn't even get his hands on it. When he was idle, he went to check the rewards obtained from the achievements of the world's second village and the special mineral veins rewarded by the system. The honor of the world's second village in the past was established by players in the European region. Now that I am ahead of them, I can know what good things are in it. With its grand promotional announcement, this mine should be extraordinary. Lin Mu still has great expectations for this and hopes that it can play a crucial role in the territory. This mine vein is an open-pit mine, which means that mining can be done without the need for complex prerequisites such as opening a mine. The dark mine vein is located in the northwest direction of the village, and Lin Mu and 5 other leaders come to the edge of this mine vein. After naturalization, the 5 lords all have junior mining skills, and collecting minerals is much more efficient than not having any skills. Being able to have these talents can be considered a significant population critical strike by players. The appearance of special NPCs is called population critical strike. Name: Black tungsten iron or vein, grade 3 characteristics. Metal minerals attribute: high quality open pit or veins, or purity of 83%, storage capacity of 2 million units. Introduction. The goddess Nu rewards the warriors who established the world's second village. The overall attribute of the ore veins has been improved by 100% due to the influence of special territories, resulting in special changes and becoming high-quality ore veins, making mining easier. Lin Mu checked the properties of the mineral veins and found that there is a storage capacity of 200 million units, which is 200 million kilograms of black tungsten iron. I don't know how many weapons and equipment can be crafted. It seems that the junior blacksmith shop in the territory is busy. This special ore vein used to be a general open-air ore vein with only 2 levels. After being enhanced by the divine attribute of the territory, it has now become like this, and its storage capacity should also increase exponentially. With this special ore vein, it plays a crucial role in the development of the territory. This is also the urgent goal of Lin Mu to establish the world's second village. The hierarchy of resources is divided into grades, from low to high, from grade 1 to grade 9, with grade 9 being the best. Lin Mu thought of one of his planned ways of accumulating wealth, which happened to be weapons and equipment. Among the most profitable industries in the world, one of them is weapons and equipment. If you look at the United States, weapons and equipment, airplanes and cannons are sold all over the world. Not to mention other industries, just profits alone do not know how much has been harvested. It can be said that weapons and equipment are one of its pillar industries, which is not an exaggeration. The 5 lords under Lin Mu began their work, mining and transporting the ore to the junior blacksmith shop. Now there are also 2 junior blacksmiths in the blacksmith shop who can make basic ordinary weapons such as guns, swords, and knives, which can barely arm the lords and prevent them from being empty-handed when hunting. Lin Mu returned to the village and called on 3 unsuspecting leaders to transport the ore to the blacksmith shop. After the arrangements were made, Lin Mu said to the 5 junior miners, "Thank you all for your hard work. Now this open-pit black tungsten iron ore is entrusted to you. Whoever excavates more and does well, I will promote him to become a steward and receive rewards. Everyone should work hard." Lin Mu encouraged him. The 5 of them said in unison, "Yes, Lord. I will work hard and I hope Lord can give me a bite to eat." It seems that eating is their best reward. Lin Mu also knew about their situation and encouraged him, "No problem. After you finish your work, you can't miss a bite of hot rice. Even if I don't eat it, I'll give it to you. Don't worry. Also, be careful when you work, there may be sudden attacks from wild animals. However, I have already called the territorial guards to patrol and clean up, but they haven't come here yet. I hope everyone also pays attention. Thank you, Lord, for your kindness and righteousness." Everyone bows and thanks. It's good to have a lord who cares about his subordinates like this. The 5 of them start working. Ding ding dang broke the originally calm plain, which also symbolized that Lin Mu's territory officially began to operate. When it comes to mineral veins, we have to mention the setting of NPCs or players collecting resources in Mythical 3 Kingdoms. In Mythical 3 Kingdoms, in the Huaxia region, NPCs and players can only operate within their own territory. If it is not within their own territory, there will be low efficiency, low production, or more seriously, defection behavior. This is a protection setting for NPCs or players to collect resources. So the area range of a territory is a very important attribute. However, Lin Mu's territory does not need to consider this issue. However, Lin Mu himself knew that such a situation would not happen, because he clearly remembered that the scope of the territory was unlimited, and Lin Mu guessed that it should mean unlimited. In other words, his territory can be said to be just the area of a village or the whole world, which can be understood as nothing. Therefore, in the future, if the leaders of Lin Mu go to the wilderness for work, it will not affect efficiency or defection. Lin Mu did not monitor their work, nor did he help. As a lord, he still has a lot of work to do, so these hard work should be done by others. Having received the system reward and understood its value, Lin Mu walked briskly to inspect other territorial buildings with joy. Lin Mu first headed south to the primary shipyard and primary fishing ground established by the Huanglong River to the south of the territory. Primary shipyards can produce primary or intermediate fishing boats, with a higher chance of success in primary fishing. Intermediate fishing boats can also be made, but it takes a lot of time and wood. Lin Mu first instructed the 7 NPCs in the shipyard to make multiple primary fishing boats, allowing fishermen to catch fish first and make enough food for their territory. There are currently 4 junior shipbuilders in the dock, which are the population critical hits refreshed from the intermediate refugee camp, and the 5 junior miners just now, which can be considered the biggest gain of today. Arrange the work for the shipyard and have Lin Mu check the situation of the primary fishing ground. Due to the lack of resources and materials for making fishing nets, we can only use the 10 primary fishing nets awarded by the system after the establishment of the fishing ground for operation. UU reading www.uukangshu.net. The system is relatively open for these, knowing that players do not have relevant materials to make fishing nets. Directly rewarding 10 fishing nets can be considered a solution to the urgent situation. 10 fishing nets require 10 fishing boats and 20 fishermen. With the efficiency of the dock passing through the territorial attribute bonus, the production of fishing boats can be completed quickly, and today we should be able to eat the fishing products. Arrange a clever leader for the time being, and Lin Mu felt a little relieved. Many of the people of the Han dynasty were very simple and usually had 1 or 2 skills, whether they were farmers, fishermen, or tailors. However, due to the fierce land annexation of aristocrats, gentry, and other wealthy individuals, many people have lost their homes, lost their roots, wandered and wandered. This is a tragedy of the times and also a contradiction in society. Afterwards, Lin Mu inspected other primary buildings in the territory, arranged affairs, and returned to the village council hall. In the hall, only Chang Yin is handling the information of the residents. Lin Mu also knew what Chang Yin was doing. In his past life, after establishing his own territory, refugees refreshed and registered for citizenship, and a lot of information had to be processed to prevent missing anything or making mistakes in information, which would be difficult to check in the future. Remembering my past life, my territory was established using the Huangjia village building order. The NPC management civil servants who were rewarded by the system only had a level 5 qualification. Although they could handle basic problems, they were not very flexible, rigid, and inefficient. Now, my territory, as a constant Yin, looks extraordinary. Chang Yin took the initiative to apply to himself for the management of domestic affairs, while Feng Zhong took the initiative to manage military defense work. Both of them are outstanding in intelligence and emotional intelligence, extraordinary people. By the way, I forgot to check their data attributes, it's really a mistake. Lin Mu opened the territory panel and found the attributes of Feng Zhong and Chang Yin.